Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
The NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing the rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Bueller is ready. The 1-2. Swing and a miss! And the Dodgers are World Series champions! They storm out of the dugout third base side and mob Walker Bueller. The Dodgers have won it all. An amazing ball game where they showed so much grit, so much fight as they storm back from a 5-0 deficit. Down 6-5, they came back and they win it 7-6 in Game 5 and the 8th title in franchise history.
Good afternoon. It is the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, and a happy Halloween to everyone.
It's spooky day. I'm excited.
It is. I see we have added things to the show's graphics. I like it.
This is why you got to look on the YouTubes and see us streaming, because then you can see Video Joe's craftiness.
He did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
With spiders, we have cobwebs, we have jack-o'-lanterns, we just have random mini pumpkins. I like the white pumpkins, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of all sorts of goofy gourds. We have them scattered about the front of the house.
Yeah.
We couldn't find one this year. Last year we had a gourd that looked like a snake.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't need things that look like snakes in my house.
Right.
They are there.
We have actual snakes. Yes. Earl, the Weimaraner, has found and has made friends with several black snakes.
Oh, okay.
They're cool. The black snakes
right.
are fun.
Black snakes are fine. You don't have to worry about that.
They're friendly.
They just want to eat rats and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
no, they're good. Actually,
Yeah,
they're
good
not
for your yard.
Terrible to have around, right? And Earl loves them.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Earl loves them.
I hope Biff isn't friendly with any snakes because I don't know if he would know the difference.
No, they don't. But the snakes don't want any part of them. So it's not like Earl just kind of lays in the yard and they're playing.
Right.
Like they run away.
I had
they don't run, really,
I had a garter snake for the longest time that I named Gary, but he hasn't been around for a while, so I'm worried about Gary.
Snake, by the way. Let's see. We have a Hurricanes game tonight. They were playing the Boston Bruins. I was over at the morning skate. You'll hear from Rod Brind'Amour coming up a little bit later on, possibly even Jordan Martinook.
Oh.
Everybody's excited about the way they're playing, and they got Boston tonight. They open up I think it's a 4-game homestand tonight, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday before they head out on the road. They go to Colorado. They go to Vegas. Trying to think where else they are on that trip. I don't know. Might be Chicago. I'm not sure. But
I'd be interested to see the attendance tonight.
Well, the last time that the Hurricanes did not sell a game out was Halloween 2 years ago. They played the Washington Capitals that day and had about 16-4 in the building, which lately for them is like empty.
Right.
Now, there are many people who will remember not that long ago, let's just say 7 years ago, when that was a great crowd. Well, there's 16,000 people here because we had plenty of nights where it was like a Tuesday and the Ottawa Senators are in town. No offense to my friend Brad Fritsch, captain of the Ottawa Senators supporters group. But Tuesday night, Ottawa's in town, and then like they would announce 11, and you go, yeah, they ain't 11 here.
No.
They're like 8. So friends and family invitation only. But now, when you make the playoffs for 6 years in a row.
Attracts more people.
Yes, it absolutely does. And they put on a good show. It's a good time. I saw that the Hurricanes right now are on pace for 123 points, which they won't get.
Yeah.
But
it's nice to reach, I guess.
They're good, and it should be a fun night. Boston is always a good mix in the crowd. There's always a ton, because there's so many people from Boston who live here, which is fun.
One of the OG teams. So
it is.
Got some deep roots.
Absolutely is. All right, there's a lot to discuss today. Happy Halloween. We'll I don't know, maybe we'll talk costumes.
I know you missed my costume.
Did I miss the party?
I had no. They do parties during our show.
Right. It starts now.
Yeah, it starts now. That's when they break out all the food and have all the festivities while we have to work.
There are people walking around here in costume. I don't even recognize the costumes people are in.
Yeah.
What does that say about me?
So, some of them need a little bit of explaining, but mine.
Right.
But this is my costume too. Part 2, because the first one's very itchy and uncomfortable, and I'm not about that.
Oh, you're in costume now. We actually have not. I mean, I'm looking at you through a window.
Right. Yes.
But I have not actually seen you in the flesh.
Yeah. So the main costumes, what they do here is they take your picture and they put you on a wall, and everybody votes their costume. So I dressed up for the picture, and this is the second one that's much more comfortable. But today, I am the newest member of the Spice Girls, Pumpkin Spice.
That should be good.
Oh, and you would have loved it. You'll have to see the picture. I got some
wait.
hippie goggles and all this stuff. It was great. Fuzzy
I'll go during
sweaters.
a commercial break.
It was good.
I'll look at all the photographs during a commercial break. Ashley, who does social media for us, she dressed up as one of the sales weasels.
Yes.
Or all of the sales Hawaiian shirts, and she's got a she's bald.
A bald cap. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yes, there's a lot of baldies walking around here.
There are.
It's true. It is true. All right, let's play. Coming up maybe a little bit earlier than normal, bottom of the hour. Normally we start that segment around 12:30. We'll probably start a little bit earlier. Lavel Moton, NC Central head basketball coach. Do you know what Lavel Moton did about 2 weeks ago?
Ooh, what's that?
He had lunch with the Vice President of the United States of America.
Oh, wow, look at him go.
Yeah. So ask him a little bit about that, but also talk to him about the state of affairs of, especially in college basketball. Tony Bennett retired, about 10 days ago now?
Mm-hmm.
And
2 weeks before
the season starts. Season starts Monday.
Right.
So we'll talk to LeVelle about the state of affairs of college basketball and all of that. Because, there's nothing else going on. Kidding. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yep.
5 games is all it took. It really looked like it was lining up exactly the way the Yankees wanted it. Think about this. Not only do you get an Aaron Judge early home run that stakes you to the lead, but you've got your ace on the mound.
Yep.
In Garrett Cole. Probably the best starting pitcher, maybe the best pitcher for either team in the series. And he is dealing. And you've got a 5-0 lead in the top of the 5th inning. And leadoff guy gets on. I think it was Kike Hernandez lined a base hit. It happens that was their first hit of the game. That's how good Garrett Cole was. The next guy hits a sinking line drive to center field, but if I was rating the difficulty of it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would make it about a 1.5. And Aaron Judge dropped the ball.
He did.
He just dropped the ball. All right, first and second, nobody out. You got a 5-run lead. No big deal. Next guy, ground ball in the hole between short and third. Anthony Volpe, Yankee shortstop, who's not necessarily a great fielder, fields and is going to throw to third to get the force out on Hernandez. Now, he could have gone to second, but it was the smarter play to get the lead runner. It was an easier play. He's closer to third base. 2 things, though. 1, shortstops are not used to making that particular throw, and third basemen are not used to making that particular play. It's not to say it wasn't the right idea. It was the smart play. The throw, however, was awful. And Jazz Chisholm, the third baseman, could not bail him out. Everybody's safe. We got bases loaded, nobody out. No worries. Garrett Cole's got it. He strikes out the next 2 batters. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Cole is dealing. All you got to do is get Mookie Betts. Hey, Mookie Betts, great player.
Oh,
right?
Fantastic,
right?
yes.
Amazing player.
Spunky.
MVP, one of my favorite players in the big leagues. And Red Sox fans don't miss him at all.
Yeah, about that.
Cole gets Betts to hit a little, kind of a spinny ground ball to first base. It's an easy play. Anthony Rizzo fields, and he's going to flip to go. Where's Garrett Cole?
Yeah. What happened?
So 2 errors in the inning.
So bad.
That's not considered an error because nobody misplayed a ball, which should have been an error.
Yeah.
But I guess technically it isn't. So a run is in. The bases are still loaded. There are still 2 outs. But the next 2 batters got hits. Freddie Freeman, 2-run single. Teoscar Hernandez, 2-run double. All of a sudden, it's 5-5 when it should have been 5-0, and we were done.
Yes.
Cole was dealing. He was going to get out of the... Certainly should have gotten out of the inning without any run scoring. But because of him, not to mention the other 2 mistakes, and the Yankees gave away the 5-run lead. And at that point, Oh, man, you're just playing into the Dodgers' hands.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain teams where you can get away with giving them free outs. Not the Dodgers. So they made the Yankees pay then. Then even though New York took a 6-5 lead, the Dodgers got it back +1. They led 7-6, and Walker Buehler came out of the bullpen. He was going to start. He was in line to start Game 7. He had just started Game 3. Dodgers win. And the Yankees were toast.
Yeah.
So, in and of itself, the best team in baseball, the Dodgers, won the World Series.
Grimace is at our door right now. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yep. Grimace. That was Grimace out there. I wish we had a camera that could follow Grimace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, man, the Yankees, you've heard me say this before. Over the course of a regular season, teams make mistakes. But, man, when you get into the playoffs, the World Series, the little things are all the big things. So you can't give away outs. You can't catcher's interference. You can't put a guy on first base. It probably didn't matter. Shohei Ohtani was the player they put on first, and that was in the Dodgers' 2-run inning, right? In and of itself, that didn't matter, but it's indicative of the Yankees' fundamental problems. And then when Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees after the game, says, PFP, we're fine with PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. I just wanted to say, apparently not.
Mm-hmm.
Because Garrett Cole didn't cover first base.
He did not. He's just pointing at Rizzo.
He pointed at Rizzo like, you got it.
Yeah.
And Rizzo's like,
no, you're supposed to get it.
I don't have it. You were supposed to be here.
That's your job.
So, hey, look, I'm not going to cry because you hate to see it, the Yankees losing the World Series. But as somebody who wants to see the game played well, correctly, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, plus, I mean, the Mets did that at one point where Edwin Diaz forgot to cover first base. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, that's right.
Uh-huh. Well, at least that awesome Austin guy can't ruin a game anymore.
Right.
Because it's over.
So, good for the Dodgers and good for Freddie Freeman, who didn't homer last night.
I
right?
know. I told you.
You were good about Giancarlo Stanton, who did homer.
He did.
Freddie Freeman didn't homer, but he did get a 2-run single that made it 5-3. And he talked about being red hot in the World Series.
You don't really think about it when you're up there. Things seem to be slowing down. That's kind of what you're just trying to do. And I think obviously experience definitely helps in this situation. But when I did a lot of work in between the NLCS and the World Series, and thankfully my ankle got into a good spot where I could work on my swing, and I found a cue that really worked for me, and I was able to slow things down. I mean, all you're trying to do is swing at strikes, take balls, and hit the mistakes, and thankfully I was able to do that for 5 games.
He did, man. He just absolutely destroyed the ball.
I hope people are going to be him for Halloween.
Freddie
they just
Freeman?
need like a huge pair of teeth, a bat with like just hitting homers all day. Just wear blue. I love it.
Freddie Freeman is like legitimately one of the best players in the game.
Yes, and seems like such a great person too. Like such a nice guy.
And the Braves decided they didn't want him.
Yeah, we don't need him.
Look, I know how Braves fans justify it. Matt Olson is younger. He was cheaper. But you know what he isn't?
Freddie Freeman. And a
right.
home run hitter.
And
like
better. He's not better than Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman is one of those guys.
Right.
And when he's yours and he's one of those guys, you figure out a way to keep him. But again, I don't have to be right about this. That's the way I felt at the time. It's the way I still feel. It's kind of the way I felt about Albert Pujols with St. Louis. As it turned out, St. Louis was right because Pujols' body broke down. He was not the same player with the Angels that he was with the Cardinals. But man, you just got to figure out a way to keep your guy when he's that good.
And he wanted to stay there, too. Like, I love a loyal player that wants to stay for their team.
He wanted to get paid.
Yeah, sure.
But he wanted to stay there.
Yes.
And that's what the Braves decided. We're going to pay him less.
No, we don't need you.
And he's younger. And look, Matt Olson's a wonderful player. I'm not knocking Matt Olson.
Sure.
All right. Guess what we found out yesterday? I think it was after we were done.
Oh, yeah.
Bryce Young be starting again.
Oh.
Dave Canales makes the announcement.
First of all, let me just say that Bryce will be starting this week. So he took the reps with the ones today, and Andy is progressing. He was out there throwing, and I just really looked at all of the things, and for me, I just erred on the side of caution, and wanted to get Andy in the best possible situation to be able to make a decision going forward. And also, I'm excited for Bryce to have an opportunity to build off some of the things that he did last week. Certainly things to work on, but a lot of good stuff that he did too. So, and then again, I know we'll have questions about it, but we'll take all the information in from this week and then go forward and make the next best decision for the team.
Hopefully, they'll be working on the throwing and catching. No, hold on. I'm going to forget all the things that I've said. I believe all the things I said. I'm going to push those to the side, and we are going to start with a clean slate this week. You're gritting your teeth there.
I know.
I'm keeping an open mind. I just want everybody to know that.
I wish that I could, but we've just seen so much of Bryce. I have no reason to think he would change.
Yes,
but apparently he watched the tape and he feels much better, though.
Well, we'll listen to that later. Canales, what are you encouraged by regarding Bryce?
Yeah, on Sunday, just some of the rhythmic throws. First drive, just kind of finding a good mix and balance of it. For me, again, this is an opportunity to compete, to continue to find the things that he's confident with. He found some nice completions, throughout here and there, and then finished with the really nice drive that I thought was, obviously the game was out of hand, but at the same time, we were competing, to find wins in those moments. And, I just thought that was, good stuff. And then, to have the continuity of one week to the next, getting in and out of the huddle, and to feel that rhythm, that it takes to be successful. So I'm excited for him to get out there and have another opportunity.
I'm just writing down some of my favorite moments there. To find wins in those moments, little wins, little victories.
Right. Yes.
And one of those is getting in and out of the huddle.
Oh boy, the bar is. How can the bar be lower? It's in the ground. It's
buried.
Not even.
The bar has been buried. Yeah. One more thing from Dave Canales. We'll hear from Bryce Young later. Sorry, the whole thing is making me laugh. Why didn't Deontay Johnson work out with the Panthers?
Dan, Brant, and I just kind of, talked about the different opportunities that came up, and we just kind of collected all the information and made the best decision for all of us.
It's a good non-answer.
Right.
Look,
Words.
Chris Lee was on with us yesterday. Thought that he detected some things that he didn't like about Deontay Johnson being more about him than the team, and that's just wide receiver. To be honest, if we look around the league, that is just Deontay Johnson being a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That is the mentality of wide receivers. Doesn't matter what kind of team you're on. It seems like the wide receiver always thinks that he should have the ball. I am not criticizing it. That is just an observation. And it's maybe unfair to certain wide receivers who don't necessarily feel that way, or at least don't express it that way. But the truth is that that's what Deontay Johnson was doing, was being a wide receiver. So good or bad, and maybe to the Panthers' credit or detriment, don't know, they decided that Deontay Johnson would be better off elsewhere, even if they didn't really improve anything about the team, including improving their draft haul. Right? There was... We could pretend all day long that they got something for Deontay Johnson. They didn't. They simply moved up 15 spots in a draft.
Right.
That's it. They didn't, like, if you don't give up the 6th round pick, if you get a 5th round pick, then you go, we got a 5th round pick. But you didn't. You got basically the same exact player you will take. You will just take that player about 15 spots earlier. That's fine, but you didn't, and you're paying him. You didn't get anything. Regardless, if they feel like it's better off with Deontay Johnson elsewhere, then that's fine. He certainly wasn't making them great.
Right.
So we'll just leave it at that. When we come back, and there's a lot of stuff to talk. We haven't even talked about the Canes and the Bruins yet. We will get to that. We'll dig in more to the Panthers' decision to go with Bryce Young for one more week. We'll hear about it from his perspective. And but when we come back, basketball season is 4 days away, 5 days away, 5 days away, 4 days. I don't know how many days. I can't do the math. Lavel Moton, NC Central basketball coach, will join us next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
At this point, I think it's obvious. Dave Canales and Bryce Young just don't like each other. They're two guys that don't trust each other. They're forced to work with each other. They didn't pick each other. But when they're forced to be on the field, one calling plays, one being the quarterback, they just don't get along. We all have that coworker. Theirs is pretty important.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Adam Gold here from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. Have you heard? Mortgage rates have gone up. I am here to tell you it doesn't matter. I have gotten mortgages when the rates were a little bit higher than they were, say, a month ago, and they've gone up about a half point. But guess what? They're going to go down because it always happens, especially in an election year and especially after an election year. The rates will drop. Gordon Miller has guaranteed the rates will be in the 5s, maybe as low as 5.5 by next year. Miller Lending, home of the original no closing cost mortgage. I've gotten 11 mortgages with Miller Lending, have never paid a dime in closing cost, never had anything rolled into the loan amount. I've saved about $50,000. That's right, $50,000. And that's just in closing costs. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary since 1996. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
$5, that's a deal, yeah. McDonald's money, I got McDonald's money. One meal just to make me feel better. All I wanna know is, can I get a hot and spicy patty, the McNuggets so crisp, and the fries go to yellow, yeah, McDonald's don't miss, yeah. Order on the app or the drive-thru quick, yeah. $5, that's a deal, yeah. McDonald's money, I got McDonald's money.
At participating McDonald's.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace.
So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for a supportive culture.
As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can be a source of support.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others that none of us are alone.
And that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
This is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Like, heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
The one and only. He is NC Central's head basketball coach. He is a Raleigh legend and is the future governor of the state of North Carolina, in my opinion. Lavel Moton joins us on the Adam Gold Show. All right, so when I saw the news that the vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris, I've heard she's running for office. She says, I want to meet NC Central's basketball coach. I want to meet Lavel Moton. First of all, when you hear that, well, how does that make you? You have reached a certain level. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe you are the future governor.
Oh man, I don't know about my future in politics, man. Like you got to be perfect out there in politics. You know where I'm from, so I did some things I ain't proud of. So I'll be the first imperfect governor or mayor in the history of North Carolina, man. But no, it was really a cool thing. She called 2 weeks ago, and you know, I got some friends that like to act silly, so I thought they were playing games on the phone, and she was like, "Nah, it's really me." And she asked me to go out to lunch with her. Matter of fact, dinner. I'm sorry. And then she said her people would arrange it, and you know, on Saturday she said she would be in town, and we were able to arrange a nice dinner along with a couple of more guys. And then she wanted to talk to me individually in a separate room, you know, just about some policies and some issues. And, you know, she was happy about the things I was doing in the community. And the cool thing was we ate lunch 2 blocks away from my mural. So she said, I saw your mural. She said, I thought it was beautiful. She said, I wanted to take a picture with it, but, you know, it's 14 SUVs following her, right? So I'm like, I don't even think the parking lot that big. So I was more in awe of the Secret Service that was around her, right? I'm looking like it was a bunch of Kevin Costners from The Bodyguard. I'm like, man, these guys got a full-time job. Like I'm more in awe of them than her. But it was a great moment. And I'm pretty cool to my daughter now. She didn't think I was cool before, but now my daughter thinks I'm cool, so it's cool with me.
I get the sense that your daughter probably thinks you're cool. Anyway, so I know, just like following you on Twitter, that trash talk ensued. Is Kamala Harris, is she a good trash talker?
Man, she led with that, and I was like, "Good gracious!" Obviously, she's an HBCU Howard alum, and so you know, I don't want to repeat what she said, but she said, "Coach, lean your ear down here," and I was like, "Good gracious, you the VP? We going at it like that?" Okay. So that initially just broke the ice. I was like, "Hey, you're an HBCU graduate, and then you're a VP right now." So it was crazy how she just led with the trash talk, and I just thought she humanized herself, you know, instantly, and I just thought that was the coolest thing about it.
Lavel Moton is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Man, you just lived the greatest life in the world. Before we get to your team and the season, I mean, we're about to start this next week. I just want your thoughts on not really the timing, and I'm not looking to be critical, but the surprise retirement of Tony Bennett and what it says about coaches who have achieved so much being so dismayed about the state of affairs of the game that he would walk away at this point.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, right? Because one of the things that makes our game and our sport so great is the coaches and the impact that they have on the lives of these young men and young women as well. I kind of saw it coming with Tony. You know, he was one of the great guys in the business. And I saw it coming with Roy.
Right.
I I didn't see it coming with Jay, but, there's some more coaches out there that I know of, and they're expressing their disappointment. And I think what happens is, just like anything, when you sign up for something and you're no longer involved in that, it kind of makes you question, what are you in it for? Our game and our sport has been a beautiful sport. And I'm speaking as an student athlete. It saved my life, right? It was able to get me out of some challenging circumstances, and I was the first one in my college to go to. I'm the first one in my family to go to college. Excuse me. So it's done great things for me, and I'll always respect that and understand it. I think one of the problems is we have too many casuals chiming in about the sport when they never played, never done it on this level or whatever. So they just think it's all about, well, these coaches quitting because they upset the kids are getting paid. No, that's not the case. I don't care if you get paid. Like this is America. I don't care, right? I was a kid who had his jersey in the store, and people were selling my jersey, and they ain't had $20 in my pocket. So again, I'm always pro student athlete.
Right.
I just think I think our game has gotten out of control. There's no legislation. There's no rules. It's become the Wild Wild West, right? And once it's the Wild Wild West, and you're no longer, quote unquote, it's no longer amateur athleticism. It's no longer amateurism at all. These kids are semi-pros, right? And so if we're going to treat them and pay them like pros, then we have to change the rules and regulations so they can abide as pros, right? Because nobody cares about an education. You ain't heard nothing about nobody graduating and education. Like nobody cares about that anymore.
Right.
I haven't had a parent in 30 years call me about academics. It's always about playing time and money now, right? And so that has changed, and I just think it's kind of pushed coaches who initially signed up for one thing out of the business, and they say, hey, we can do better, right? And I think one of the other problems is we're starting to, people are saying, well, coaches can leave whenever they want. Why can't players leave when they want? And I just cringe when I hear that, because there's always been a tier system in America, right? It's adults, and then there's kids.
Right.
And kids don't get to do what adults do, right? When I was in high school, they had this thing called the teacher's lounge, right? It was specifically for teachers, right? As students, we couldn't go in there and eat in the teacher's lounge and say, well, teachers do it, right? My mom and her girlfriends, when they are together in a circle, they're the best of friends, but they call each other some names that I can't even repeat on here, right? I'm a kid. I can't jump in that conversation and call them those names because I want to be like, you follow what I'm saying? So there's always been a fine line. And if we're going to say that and go with that, then we also have to understand coaches have buyouts in their contracts, right? So, right. And performance clauses and incentives. So if a kid is getting paid and he's not averaging 10 points, can his money be deducted? Right. And if he chooses to leave a school, then he should be required to pay some of that buyout back. Right. Those are like, you can't be a student when you want to be, but not be a student when you got to be, right? And so the NCAA has to do a better job of regulating this thing and legislating this thing, or else it's going to continue to spiral out of control, right? I think I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but a couple of years ago, I offered a proposition, to the NCAA, and I just think it's really, really fair, right? And everyone wins, and it's not spiraling out of control. And that was, I think the NCAA is an $8 billion nonprofit organization, right? So let that process a little bit. And I think they might make probably close to $1 billion off of the NCAA tournament, right? And so let's say it's 360 schools in Division I. I would say take $500 million and do revenue shares, just chop it up that way. Obviously, the Power Fives, they get, let's say, 65% of it. Then the mid-major pluses can get 20% of that revenue share, and the low majors can get 15% of that revenue share that goes back into their schools, and now the schools can pay the players evenly, and it can be distributed. Just like that. It's really that simple, right? So everybody's investing into a revenue share of a nonprofit organization and the umbrella in which it all falls under, right? And that nonprofit organization, as a nonprofit, is giving a percentage of those proceeds back to the labor workers, quote unquote, so to speak, right? And so now everybody's happy. And so you don't have to worry about who's paying this kid $120,000 and he's averaging 2 points, and now the kid is pissed when he get to school because what they said was going to happen. Now he don't get his money, so now he want a red shirt and sit out. Like, it's all over the place. And then at the end of the day, what happens? Some of these kids jumping from school to school to school to school when their eligibility is exhausted. They're 24, 30 hours short of graduation, and no one is going to pay for their degree. And that's where I come in at. That's what my concern is in this whole thing, because at the end of the day, it still takes what it takes to get to the NBA. I don't care how many schools you transfer to, you better be damn good. Like, that's the reality. And so for the 99% that's not going to make it, I think we're doing them a disservice. But I think we're smart enough to come to a conclusion where everyone can win. And so we just ain't done that yet, and it's problematic, and it's pushing great people out of the game.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Tony Bennett was talking about collective bargaining, and I'm in favor of that. I think at some point the players, and I think it's what's going to happen anyway. They're going to be declared employees, and there'll be collective bargaining, and it comes with a different set of, I'm not going to say problems, a different set of rules and regulations, but it's essentially, it protects the schools. Because I think Tony's big problem, and this may be yours too, but you've probably had to deal with it, is building a roster and maintaining a roster.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what has gotten Tony, and maybe what got Roy Williams and some of these others that have decided to leave the profession, because it is more and more difficult to maintain continuity. Virginia's success was built on familiarity with who the roster was. That was what Villanova was doing. North Carolina's success is still built on that. They have been fortunate to be able to have a lot of continuity with their roster. You've had to deal with this anyway. I mean, you've got two good players, two all MEAC players coming back. But to me, that's the real issue: is how to build a roster.
Right. It's the most, it's the craziest thing ever, right? Like, because at the end of the day, we're no longer coaches, we're general managers.
Right.
With 13 free agents on our team each year. And you don't know if they're going to leave, when they're going to leave. All it takes is someone to dangle something shiny in front of them or give them a carrot, and, they're out the door. A lot of these kids don't have the support system that teaches them all money ain't good money, right? So we're not, right? It's just like, okay, if you're getting $10,000 from this university and someone offered you $15,000, leave there and go. Not knowing, man, $5,000. It sounds a lot, right? And you and I both know, like, after taxes, and that's not going to last you forever. So every decision must be based off your personal development. And that's what I try to tell kids, right? I had the opportunity, and I always speak from a personal spot. I had the opportunity to leave North Carolina Central when I played 3 times, and I didn't, because I just thought my overall development was best at North Carolina Central. Now, one of those schools was an ACC school, right? But I stayed there, and look what it did for me, right? So I stuck it out, and I invested into my future. These kids aren't investing in their futures anymore. They're just getting it right now. And I understand it because they're hungry right now. They don't have any money right now. A lot of these kids come from families of dysfunction and, non-generational wealth. And so I get it. I understand it. That's why it just needs to be legislated. And I understand it from both sides, but it's so difficult to build a roster. We always thrived off, taking a kid that nobody really wanted and developing that kid and so on and so forth. And we did that. And, we had a kid 2 years ago that we were the only scholarship that offered the kid. And he came to us and got an all-conference selection and left us for $75,000. Right? So it's no loyalty anymore.
Right.
No loyalty is just, they don't even know what that word is. It's a tattoo to them, right? And so it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place. And we're teaching these kids. I don't know. At the end of the day, what are we teaching these kids? Right? Like the life lessons that are necessary components of being a man and being a husband and being a father. It don't embodies you to run from a circumstance or run to get better or you got to stay there and work some things out. And if you don't have those components when you're 20, it's going to be extremely hard to have and develop those components of life when you're 30 and 40 years old.
All right, before we have to say goodbye, we can get lost in the weeds on all these things, and I'd love to have there's a much longer, broader, and detailed conversation that we can have about the state of intercollegiate athletics and what it is supposed to represent and what it actually represents from both sides, from players and the schools, because the players are. I think this is sort of the seesaw coming back up to a large extent. It's probably already all the way up. But your team starts Monday. You're on the road in Fairfax, Virginia, against George Mason. I know you've got two preseason all MEAC players, Po Boy King and Keyshawn Porter. These are two of your leaders. Give me a scouting report on these two guys, and then what do you expect out of this team?
Man, I'm still getting to know. We've had two different scrimmages, and we're still toying with lineups overall because we have maybe 6 or 7 new guys through the portal, and to be honest, I don't know them. Right? They're good guys, but I don't know them as basketball players, and they're still trying to learn and embrace our system. And that's the frustrating component of all of this. It's like, good gracious, like you got to get to know a bunch of these kids every single year, and it's just like, wow. As far as Po Boy and Keyshawn Porter, we expect them to do great things, and I tell them preseason selections is just. They're doing what they do off of potential, right? But potential is just a fancy word. That means you ain't done nothing just yet, right? So they're going to have to lead the way for us, obviously. But they also have to understand that it's not going to be easy for them because we had some players, Fred Cleveland, Jadarius Harris, who made life easier for them last year, right? And so now as you move up, on that bulletin board or on that scouting board, things get a little tougher. Things get a little more difficult. The same looks you got last year will not be as clean this year. You're not surprising anyone because now you're the primary focus of the scouting department. And so they have to know and understand the attention to detail that's required right now. So that's what we're working with them on. And, I'm excited about it. I hope they have a great year, but we're just trying to piece this thing together. We look like scrambled eggs right now. We're just trying to piece this thing together, man. It's hard. It's really difficult, when you're constantly changing personnel, 7, 8 new guys, because basketball is just such a game of chemistry and synergy. I don't care about your talent.
Right.
Like, it got to gel, right? And they got to know each other, play together. And, it's a lot of underlining and undertones that's connected to it, but we'll be fine. Be fine.
There's also a responsibility that comes from being the focus, and also a responsibility that you have to bear putting on the central jersey. You guys aren't. I mean, it's not you're not just a local program in Durham. People know who you are. People know who you are personally, but they know the program now.
Right. So you're not sneaking up, right? We've had a lot of success. I think they said we've won. I think we went Division I in 2011 officially.
Yep.
And in that time, I think we won 8 championships. 4 regular seasons, 4 conference tournaments. So we've won 8 championships in 13 years, right? And I think the other 3 or 4 years we finished second, right? So it's like you're not sneaking up. Our standard is our standard, and our fan base is spoiled. Like everyone is spoiled, right? And so. That's exactly what we wanted the program to be when we initially took over. And so we just got to continue to maintain and sustain it.
Yeah. Did I just hear the standard is the standard? Such a Mike Tomlinism. That is fantastic.
Right. If anybody's out there listening, I must say this because I've seen this way too much as a hashtag in other people's programs, stuff like that. Mike and I was talking about that years ago in the dorm room at in Latrobe at training camp. And so we used it, and now everybody uses it. So everybody owe us some publishing.
That's right.
Some copyright. Yeah. So if you use that, the standard is the standard. You owe us some copyright, and you can write that off the NCCU men's basketball if you listen to right there, because everybody and their mama is using that slogan right now.
That is fantastic. All right, Coach. Lavel Moton, NC Central. Good luck on Monday at Mason. I will talk to you very soon.
You the best, man. Appreciate you, Adam.
Are you dropping us? The standard is the standard. That got me. That hit me right there.
Love him.
I 100%. 100%. Go Eagles. All right, when we come back, I'll be in the left face-off circle, just like Marty Natchez sits there during the power play. One-timers is next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and it is week 9 of the NFL. Is it really week 9 already? And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Jets, Texans, Aaron Rodgers, pouty face. Take the over. Breece Hall over rushing yards, you might win that too. FanDuel.com/AGS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/AGS. Jets, Texans should be a barn burner. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
I am Bruno Hinojosa and I live in Asheville. I work in construction and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. I went to their website, applied, and got covered. Doctor visits, yearly checkups, and even emergency care if I need it. Being a business owner can be stressful at times, but knowing that I got covered, it just takes weight off my shoulders. And I can get the care that I need when I need it at low or no cost. And it's one less thing I need to worry about now.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we are diving into a topic that is important to so many of us, the health insurance open enrollment period. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, we speak with Megan Brohl, a consultant with the Marsh McLennan Agency, an NCHA partner providing business employee health and benefits, and a graduate of Coastal Carolina University. She explains some of the things to consider when opting in for insurance coverage.
Really looking at the information, comparing the plans, not just the premiums, but what's the coverage, and making that best decision for you, your family, what's going to be best in the future if you have things that are coming up, and really considering all factors when you're looking at your coverage.
You can learn more and join our latest conversation on the state of healthcare wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November? From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
Hello there, it's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this, trust me. Just visit CFNC.org to help us stay on time.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's on the ones and twos. Happy Halloween, everybody. We have a lot of good costumes back there.
I know.
In the sales area.
There was a lot of participation this year.
Very competitive.
I know.
Very competitive.
I know.
I did vote.
Nice.
There's like 30 some odd contestants. I think 31.
Last I had checked, there was around 25. but I was here early.
I thought there was 31.
Get it out of the way.
Honestly, I don't know.
I have a costume change, so that's why.
You do. You're like Beyonce at one of her shows.
I know, exactly. I should have gone as Beyonce next year.
Could have.
Yes.
Could have. Yes, but I'm not allowed to say who I voted for because that would be a federal offense.
Yeah.
I don't want to commit a crime.
Yeah.
But I did vote.
That's
and
what's important.
Like the commercials say, your vote is private.
Mm-hmm.
That you voted is public record.
Right.
So we are 5 days away from Election Day.
Mm-hmm.
Go vote.
Next Tuesday, I think, is the Election Day.
Yes.
So.
It is my hope that one day in America, everyone will vote. We'll get to 100% voter participation.
We'll see.
Make your voice heard. I don't care who you vote for. Just vote.
Right.
All right. One-timers.
Okay, well.
Taylor Swift has voted. I just got a text. Taylor Swift has voted.
Okay. Well, there you go.
We have no idea who she voted for.
There you go.
But Taylor Swift has voted.
Well, I'm sure.
She texted me.
I'm sure Soto's probably voted also, but we'll see if
he may not be a citizen.
Oh, okay. Well, that is important. That's the key. You have to be a citizen,
right?
American citizen to do
that.
But he might have a vote in whether he stays with the Yankees. So
he will have the most important vote.
Should Soto stay with the Yankees, and if he does not, where do you think he will land next year?
Well, those are two different questions.
Yes.
Should he stay with the Yankees? Of course he shouldn't.
Right.
He should sign with the Mets.
Yeah.
He could keep his place.
Or the Cubs.
He could keep his place right
True.
in I don't know where he lives.
He wouldn't have to move.
He wouldn't have to move. I mean, there's just an extra toll, depending if you live in New York, in the city, then there's an extra toll to get to Queens. And I don't anticipate him living in Queens or even on Long Island. I think most of those guys either live in the city or they live in the ritzy, wealthy part of northern Jersey. So, or maybe Westchester County. But, yes, that's where he should sign. It's an easy one. Become a Met. We have our own song.
Yes, I know.
Meet the Mets.
I learned that this year just for you.
Did you?
Well, sticking with it, except the other side, the winners of the World Series, the Dodgers. Now, if they were to stay exactly the same, of course, Ohtani is going to heal and hopefully be regular Ohtani. But if they were to stay exactly as they are, everyone being healthy, that team, do you just automatically see them being a contender for the World Series again?
I think what is lost in this Dodgers team is how a lot of different things had to come together for them to win. Bullpens, you might have the same personnel, it won't be the same. The starting pitching won't be the same. Maybe they get healthier, but it doesn't make it doesn't matter that it doesn't mean that everything's going to be the same. So no, every team, even if the personnel stays the same, every team's different.
All right. Well, moving on to tonight's football game. Oh,
yes, it is.
Should be a football game. We'll see. We'll see, because it's the Jets against the Texans tonight. So the Jets season is more than likely a wash. However, they're gripping, they're trying.
Oh, yeah.
How do you see tonight going against C.J. Stroud and company?
Here's the thing. I don't want this to happen because I'm enjoying the futility that is the Jets season.
The implosion.
This is the game that they win. This is the type of a game that the Jets will win.
Okay.
So
seeing it being a good day for Aaron Rodgers and company.
Oh, yeah. False sense of security. They'll lose the next one, but I think they'll win this one.
Okay. And last but not least, a football team that's guaranteed to lose basically every game. My Carolina Panthers. What should be their strategy moving forward? Continue to get rid of people?
No, well, yes, they should. They should trade as many pieces as they can based on what they can get for them. I just want to see some progress. I want to see the quarterback not look like he is completely overwhelmed by everything. I'm not sure that's possible, but that's what I'm looking for out of the game on Sunday.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here for my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And it's Thursday night football, which means it is last chance saloon for the New York Football Jets. My gosh. This is it. If they don't win, it's Katie bar the door. Everybody's out the door. New customers, bet $5, win that bet, and get $150 in bonus bets. All you got to do is win it. Pick something cakewalk, easy, and win it. Aaron Rodgers interception anytime. I'm sure that'll happen. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host WRAL TV's Chris Lee for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low fives, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity line of credit. So call now. Get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com, free rate quote now, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holiday. That's why as a MyLowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals every week on everyday essentials, tools, and more. And you earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards to help you save on holiday and more. Not a member? Join for free today at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards, because Lowe's knows deals. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Swing and a drive, right field, as it was out of my mouth, gone! Aaron Judge has gone deep, Yankees 2, Dodgers nothing. Swing and a drive, right field, way back, on its way, out of here! Giancarlo Stanton goes deep the opposite way, and the Yankees add on, it is 5-0.
Aaron Judge, Jazz Chisholm, and Giancarlo Stanton all hit home runs as the Yankees built a 5-0 lead. Unfortunately, it was built on a house of cards. And it fell apart in the 5th inning as Los Angeles scored 5 times thanks to officially 2 Yankee errors. But we all know that the Mookie Betts infield hit, air quotes, which scored the first run with 2 outs. I mean, that's an out. And when something should be an out and it's not an out, it's hard for me to wrap my brain that we give that a hit. But it was certainly good for Mookie Betts' stats. He got a base hit and an RBI, but it should have been the 3rd out of the inning, and it should have been 5-0 with all of the mistakes the Yankees made last night in Game 5 of the World Series to cough up a 5-0 lead. Like, if you watch the game and you turned your television off at the start of the 5th inning and then turned it back on in the 6th, you would have gone, how on earth is it 5-5?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you watched Garrett Cole battle the rest of the way until he was eventually removed.
Right.
He was that good. And yet, the Dodgers scored 5 runs.
Exactly.
The Yankees gave L.A. 2 innings worth of outs in the 5th inning. Flat out.
Number 5, the number 5 was like their number. I wonder if the Dodgers are going to get like 5 tattooed on them.
Interesting. Freddie Freeman is number 5.
Right.
Yeah.
5th inning, 5 runs. It's
Look
weird.
at that.
Right?
Vin Scully would, well, I can't say deuces are wild because that was a Scullyism. 2 on, 2 out, tie score 2, 2-2 to whoever.
Yeah.
Deuces, he would say deuce is wild.
Mm-hmm.
5's a pair of 5s.
I know.
I don't know what it is. All I know is it was the Yankees had a bunch of own goals. One thing I wanted to say about the World Series real quick, and this is the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. That's Victoria. We're going to talk to Ryan Wilson of CBSSports.com. They did their With the First Pick podcast today in costume. Wilson was dressed up as the co-host. Rick Spielman, former NFL general manager.
Yes.
Spielman was dressed as Cam Newton.
Oh, whoa.
Phenomenal.
I need to look this up.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big game to try to, like, yeah.
I hope, I don't know if Ryan's going to join us by video or phone. Usually it's phone.
I think it's going to be video today.
I wonder if he's still in costume.
I hope that he is.
It'd be good if he was still in costume. Anyway, we'll talk to him about obviously the NFL, but also the draft, because they spent a lot of time talking about the draft. Is there a quarterback out there that is worth picking first? I would argue no, but I will say that if you have the first pick and you can't trade it, I don't know how you don't take Travis Hunter. I mean, he's a great wide receiver and a great cornerback. I think that's the guy that has to be taken first, but
yeah.
I don't do this for a living. They do. I do want to mention one thing, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the Carolina Hurricanes who play the Boston Bruins tonight. I think sometimes managers get too much credit. Sometimes they get too much blame. But I believe there was an instance in the 8th inning, I'm pretty sure it was the 8th inning, that Dave Roberts proved his mettle as a manager. And here is somebody that has given Dodgers fans pause to say, well, can we do better there? Look, I don't know if you can do better as a manager than Dave Roberts. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm not saying of course you can. But there was a moment in the 8th inning where I believe Dave Roberts was absolute, utter brilliance as a manager. And I want to go through real quick why I say that. Yankees have the Dodgers lead 7-6 now. We are in the 8th inning, and Blake Treinen is pitching. He's one of the Dodgers' best late-inning relievers, but he has struggled some in the playoffs. Just a little bit more than they were used to seeing during the regular year. So there's one out, and Aaron Judge doubles. And then he walks Jazz Chisholm. It's 7-6 Dodgers. They are, at this point, 5 outs away from winning the World Series. They lead 3-1. Just so everybody knows what the sequence, what the circumstances are. But because of the double and then the walk, Dave Roberts comes out of the dugout, and you just assume at this point, all right, he's taking Treinen out and bringing in whomever they would bring in at this point. Doesn't really matter. But Roberts left him in. And here's, without knowing exactly what the conversation was, I'm telling you this is what happened. Roberts said to Treinen, I don't care that you just walked this guy. I don't care if Mike Stanton hits the ball into the East River. We have a 3-1 lead. We need 5 outs. Go get him. Don't nibble. Don't worry about him hitting a home run. If he hits a home run, we just go back to L.A. and we have 2 games to win 1. We will win this World Series. And from that point, Treinen just dealt. Absolutely dealt. He got Stanton to fly out at first pitch swinging, which, okay, that's fine. Stanton has been a run producer. If he had a pitch he thought he could hit, and certainly going the other way is not a bad idea in Yankee Stadium. He happened to get under it, and he hit a high pop-up to Mookie Betts in shallow right field. And then Treinen threw some nasty bleeping pitches to Anthony Rizzo and struck him out. Nasty pitches. I think that's what Roberts was telling him. Like, I don't care. If you give up a home run here and we lose the game, it's okay. We have other games to play. So don't worry about it. Just go do the best you can. Get the job done. And Treinen was great. And then they brought out Walker Buehler for the 9th inning, and the Yankees had no chance at that point. I will say that even though Alex Verdugo has been a very good player for the Yankees in the playoffs, at least a timely good player. I don't think he hit for a very high average in the postseason or even in the World Series, but he has gotten a fair amount of big hits. Verdugo's at bat with 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the 9th inning was tragically bad. He takes ball 1. You're down a run. It's the 9th inning. The Yankees, more than anything on this earth, need a base runner. Doesn't make a difference how you get on, you need a base runner. So he took ball one, like, all right, he's going to take a strike. On the next pitch, which was a curveball well inside, he swung and missed. And the rest of the at-bat changed because now Walker Buehler's like, I don't have to throw him anything close to a strike. And he didn't. All 4 pitches were out of the strike zone. Alex Verdugo struck out on 4 pitches. The game has changed. We use analytics all the time to tell us things. But that was horrific. There are certain things about the game that don't change. Getting on base when you are the last out and your run is the run that matters to the team, you have to figure out how can I best get on base. And swinging at 4 balls that aren't even close to strikes, 3 that aren't even close to strikes, that ain't it. Anyway, it's just the subtleties of the game that are super important when the games mean the most. All right, I guess this is take 2, although we haven't talked about the Hurricanes yet, really. Canes will play the Boston Bruins tonight at Lenovo Center. I talked to Rod Brind'Amour before the game. We'll let you hear that coming up next hour. They played 365 minutes of hockey on this road trip. And there might have been maybe, I'm not even saying there were, 60 minutes they didn't like. Right? I thought the last period and a half against Vancouver, it wasn't that they didn't like him. They did some good things. But they kind of backed off a little bit. That happened, I believe, also in Calgary. Was it Calgary? I think it was Calgary, where they just kind of, for about half the second period and the third period, just kind of went away a little bit. But ultimately, they were good. They got to their game. I think what Rod Brind'Amour said was that our first periods were excellent. Their first periods were great in every game of the trip. They were, in many cases, dominant in the first period. That was that way in Pittsburgh, in St. Louis. Edmonton, I thought they were really good in the first period and trailed 1-0. They happened to be great in the third period, got even, and then won it in overtime. I think there was just a ton good. Rod did say today, Frederik Andersen is not day-to-day. He's more week-to-week. Here's what we know about Freddie Andersen. Boy, do all the planets need to be lined up just perfectly for Freddie to be coming back off of an injury. He does not like to be anything short of 100%. I think he likes to be 102% before he comes back. So we are going to see a steady diet of Pyotr Kochetkov. Spencer Martin is backing up, and Martin is going to play some, but it's going to be lean on Pyotr. And let's hope that Pyotr has gotten over his little walkabout episodes that happened in Vancouver. It was not pretty.
Oh, that spunk.
But it was a mixed bag. It's why I said he was like an EKG, in that there were a lot of great moments, but there were 3 bad goals allowed that opened the door for a loss. I mean, again, it would have been in overtime, so you'd still pull a point out of the game. But you were too good early to not win that hockey game. And Kochetkov, honestly, all 3 goals allowed were very avoidable goals. Very avoidable. Who knows how the game plays out otherwise. But we're going to see a steady diet of Pyotr Kochetkov. So if this is what you were hoping for, then congratulations. This is what you got, and that's good. It's good to see Kochetkov get a steady run of games here because we all want him to establish himself as the number one. I shouldn't say we all, because I'm sure there are some people who are voting Freddie. And I think I don't think there's a bad decision here, but I think if you want to get to the next level, I think Kochetkov's higher end is better than Freddie's, although Freddie has been outstanding through 4 starts this year. The line stayed the same. There are no other injuries reported amongst Carolina Hurricanes. All right, real quick, with the Bryce Young experience is back. That's right. Bryce Young is back, and he was asked about, does he feel different now that you've gone back and you've watched the tape? How do you feel?
I thought it was a good plan. Again, things to clean up, stuff to execute better, but some things that again I think to build off of. So just wanted to look at it objectively. For me out there, it was just it was great being out there. It was obviously fun just being in that role again. So really just tried to separate the emotion from it, and then see what was good we can build off of and see what I can learn from.
First of all, don't separate the emotion from it. Use the emotion from it.
Yeah.
Right?
Motivation.
I do wonder if that's in some ways getting in Bryce's way, trying to be too calm. I think there is a time to allow the emotions to help you. It can make you faster, strong. Look, I'm going to go back to something Walker Buehler said last night. Walker Buehler, in one of the interviews that I watched, they asked him how he felt on the mound. He had so much adrenaline, he said, I felt like I was 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there are butterflies and all of the things that are coursing through him. But he basically felt weightless.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fine. Sometimes you need to allow the emotions of the moment to help you. Not to take you out of it, but to help you with it.
I think Bryce is thinking the opposite. He probably feels heavy.
No, I think you're right. I think it is. He was bad last year, right? There's no question. There's no doubt that we can say that definitively. He was bad last year. He had help being bad, but he was bad. The first 2 games this year caused so much pressure to Bryce. He wants to be good, and he can't figure out why he has been good his entire life. Actually, been great his entire life, but now he's not. Now he's bad, and he cannot deal with that. He is applying even more pressure, so he actually needs to be weightless. He needs to just let the game happen. I'm rooting for him. I hope he does well on Sunday. All right, let's break. When we come back, Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com, with the First Pick podcast. We'll see if he's still in costume. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Jordan Moore delivers, and the Blue Devils have the lead.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford and by Amedios.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my man, Coach Pete D'Arruda, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex. He is the retirement planning guru. If you want to retire and you're not sure if you can do so financially, why not get in front of Coach Pete D'Arruda and let him design a totally customized retirement plan for your needs today, your needs tomorrow, your needs in retirement. Hey, maybe you're going to live 30 years after you retire, maybe 40 years after retire, maybe 50 years after you retire. You want to make sure you've got enough to do what you want to do, right? Coach Pete D'Arruda can help. 888-843-0013, 888-843-0013 for Coach Pete D'Arruda. That totally customized retirement plan for you is free if you call today. For somebody else, it's a $1,000 value. Save yourself thousands of dollars and call Coach Pete D'Arruda today and retire on your terms, maybe tomorrow. Coach Pete D'Arruda.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle. And their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people this all the time. If I am doing a commercial for somebody, I am vouching for who they are and what they do. You guys do great work, but your customer service stands above all the great work that you do.
Adam, I truly appreciate that testimonial. And yeah, we try to take pride in our customer
customer service and meet and exceed our homeowners' expectations on all their home improvement needs. Obviously, there's many companies out there that do what we do. If you Google home improvements Raleigh, you're going to get many, many companies. But you're not going to find too many companies out there that have a 4.9 rating and over 800 Google reviews and over 7,000 Guild quality reviews. It takes a lot of work on our part to make sure we meet and exceed all your expectations on customer service. And we're going to continue to do so because that's why we've been in business since 1961.
I have used the aluminum company. I have not heard anyone that had anything but incredible things to say about all of you, and that is amazing. That's a testimony to how you guys do it. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone. Get in zone, AutoZone. Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
This is Adam Gold.
Dan on Twitter, who you got? Robert Plant or Elvis Presley? That is actually very difficult because I don't want to disrespect Elvis Presley. I think it's Elvis. It's very, very close. And that is an incredible question.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. I'm actually stunned that this wasn't like the last bump.
Oh no, I've got my bumps all
I
planned.
know, I understand that, but I thought we were building towards essentially Victoria's #1 Halloween track.
See, it's hard to pick a #1.
Okay,
all of these are good ones.
I mean, it's classic.
And I've learned some new ones too in this weekly hunt. Next year we'll have an extra day, so I got a whole new day of.
We'll
bumps.
have an extra day. Why?
Well,
is Halloween on a Friday next year?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Usually the days move, but
they do.
We'll see.
I have no idea what the pattern is. Is there a pattern? I don't know.
I made an assumption that could be bad on my
I don't pay attention to whatever pattern there might be. Victoria's here. I'm Adam Gold, and it is time to welcome in our friend Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com with the First Pick podcast. You're out of costume.
No, here's the thing. I'm dressed up as Adam Gold for Halloween. Look at that. 2 handsome guys.
That's right. We have the same
screen.
haircut. We have the same haircut. Look at that. I enjoyed your Rick Spielman.
Yeah, you know what's weird about that? So I got an old man wig off of Amazon and some granny glasses, and I dressed up as Rick Spielman. He didn't recognize who it was, and Rick joked that when he was the Vikings GM, some of his employees would dress up as him as well, and they would cut the shirts off of their dress shirts and run around because he's a meathead at heart. So I did that as well. He dressed up, and I was talking to Victoria about this. He looks like Cam Newton with the tall hat on and the feathery whatever around the bow around his neck. He was actually a fortune teller. I was like, Rick, no one's going to know who that is, so I'm just going to call you Cam Newton, and we'll go from there.
Oh, that's hysterical. So you did that because he looked like Cam. That was fantastic. When Cam got the gig on ESPN, I joked, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to listen because it's on. He's normally on when we're on the show, but it's always on in the studio. And the whatever he wore the other day absolutely floored me. I don't need to hear anything Cam says. I think Cam is a smart football guy, but my gosh, the hats are next level. Let's start, Ryan Wilson, with Bryce Young getting another start. It's almost painful to listen to Dave Canales and Bryce Young, for that matter, talk about what we all saw, which was disastrous after the first drive in Denver. He's going to get another start. How can it be different than what we just saw? Because what we just saw, I don't care who you play, and Denver's got a good defense, but it was so bad and so non-threatening that I just don't know how they're going to make that look good unless they change their approach.
Yeah, that's the question. And you're working. You don't have 6 months to fix this. You got 6 days, and it's been bad. Not even just mediocre or just below average. It's been hard to watch at times. And as Rick Spielman says, and he's a huge Bryce Young fan, but the Carolina Panthers feel like a homecoming team every week. Like they're the team you put on the schedule when you want to make sure you get a win when all the people come back to watch the football game. And that's not where you want to be as a professional franchise. And look, hope ain't a plan, but you're playing the Saints. They're banged up. They have struggled as well. They have quarterback issues because Derek Carr's hurt, and their rookie Spencer Rattler hasn't looked great. They replaced him with Jake Hayner. We know about that, and they've had some injuries up and down the roster. So maybe you're hoping for a situation where something clicks, the running game can get going. Chuba Hubbard's been one of the few sort of bright spots. Xavier Legette is coming along. They moved on from Deontay Johnson, which, as Steelers fans will tell you, you sort of saw that coming. He didn't seem to be super pumped to be there, and he said he was, had let out of breath when he was traded to Baltimore. So make of that what you will. But in terms of the short-term fix, I don't know what it is. And the other thing we talk about all the time, Adam, is that this ain't Dave Canales' quarterback, right?
Right.
So we know that the owner can be impetuous in terms of moving on from guys, whether it's the coaching staff or in this case the quarterback. I'm sort of surprised he hasn't been traded. I thought maybe that would be on the table. Maybe this is one last audition and then you figure things out from here. I just don't envision a situation where next year Bryce is on the team.
I agree. And I may have said this to you. The way Dave Canales has approached this, it almost seems to me like he has gone about the business of proving that Bryce can't play as opposed to that he can. They have been terrified. I joked on Twitter that they saw that one touchdown drive, and the touchdown pass to Xavier Legette was good, right? It was a little bit behind him, but he threw it, red zone touchdown from the pocket. I thought short guys weren't supposed to be able to complete those passes, but he managed to. And at that point, they stopped throwing the ball vertically except when it became too late. And it wasn't even about winning the game. It was about just looking credible. But let me ask you this, because I know your podcast that you just recently dropped was about a mock draft. So are there quarterbacks that not could go one, because that's silly to me, should go one? Or is there a quarterback that should go number one? Because I can't believe there's anybody in this draft better than Travis Hunter.
Oh, that's funny you say that. So Rick Spielman had the first overall pick, and we alternated, and Carolina obviously has the first pick as we sit here. And he said, hold my nose, let's fix Bryce Young, which seems like a stretch, but he took Travis Hunter, to your point, because he is special, and he solves problems on both sides of the ball. So you're getting a 2-for-1 in that sense. And it feels like at the heart a lot harder to whiff on a Travis Hunter than it is on a quarterback who, as we've seen in Bryce's draft class, Anthony Richardson just got benched. You just don't know for a myriad of reasons. There's not a quarterback in this class that I think should go number one right now, especially if you're comparing it to last year's class with Caleb or Jaden Daniels or even Drake May. All those quarterbacks would come in as QB 4, maybe 5 if you like Michael Penix Jr. a little better, and I sort of do. Shedeur Sanders is playing well, but is he a Caleb Williams-type talent? I don't think so. Cam Ward has had a fantastic season, but going into the season, scouts will tell you they wanted to see him play on time more consistently and minimize the silly mistakes, and he has done that. But I don't know if that's enough to catapult him to number one. And if you take either of those guys at Carolina, then the question becomes, is there enough around those players, like there wasn't with Bryce, to suddenly turn things around like this was Houston or this was Washington? And I think the answer to that right now is no. So I think Travis Hunter makes a lot of sense for me because you're getting a player who can help you on both sides of the ball, and then you figure out the quarterback situation at some point.
That's what I would do, but I would have done that before. It's not that I wouldn't have drafted Bryce, and people know this. When we looked at all four, Bryce was the guy I thought was the best. I mean, I don't have to be right. It doesn't look like I'm going to be, and I'm okay with that. But, I don't think I was alone. I think there was consensus might not be the right word, but I think there was a majority of people that were leaning Bryce over everybody else. It must have been because if we were just drafting off the measurables, then nobody would have drafted Bryce. But it seemed like at least half, maybe more, were in his camp. Hunter, can you play both at the NFL level?
So here's what Rick and I talk about this a lot, and here's what Rick will tell you, and I think it makes sense, right? And I remember talking to Scott about this back in August, asking him that very question. He said, I like him now as a cornerback. Mm-hmm. He's a little more refined there. Also, anecdotally, it feels like there's less chance of injury. He's gotten hurt. Last year, Colorado State, he got hurt on a cheap shot playing offense. This year, Kansas State, he got hurt coming across the middle, playing both times on offense. That said, you can play him 40, 50 snaps on defense and have a package of 15 or 20 snaps on offense because it would be silly not to, but you don't want to have a situation where he can't play 100 snaps a game in the NFL. That's just not sustainable at that size. So I think you have to figure out a balance where you get him 65 to 70 snaps, divide it up however you want to, but you have to utilize his talents, especially if he's going to a terrible team that needs his talents utilized.
All right, so here's the way I would look at it. Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com at Ryan Wilson CBS. How do we view him as a cornerback? Is he a elite shutdown corner? And how important that is, how much does that separate you from other teams versus what is he as a wide receiver? Is he an elite top, tier wide receiver? Maybe not in the Justin Jefferson mode or players like that, but a legit number one wide receiver? And how much does that separate you? I would be more inclined to leave him at cornerback and then, as you said, just feature him a handful of plays on the offensive side, because those are the guys I think that change your team.
Yeah, so we can do a little thought experiment here. Would you rather have Sauce Gardner full-time or Devonta Smith full-time? I'm just sort of doing some general comps of what Travis Hunter is. Travis is a little more explosive than Devonta Smith, but who would you rather have on your team full-time in terms of impacting wins and losses? Well, as a former Jets fan, somebody who's watching Sauce Gardner kind of go through the motions this year, I would say I'd rather have that position. I don't want to use Sauce Gardner. I've been kind of, as just observing the Jets, and I was going to get to the Jets before we were done, I've kind of been disappointed in Sauce this year. Let me move on to Russell Wilson. I think we kind of all criticized the move to Russ because we had seen Russ for 3 years just be so average or worse. And I know he wasn't good last week against the Giants, but he was great on that Sunday night, especially after the first quarter. Is this the long-term, for this year, correct move for the Steelers? Yeah. And I would argue he actually was pretty good against the Giants. Steelers fans will tell you that as well. And I'm a Steelers fan, so I had very little expectations coming in. And prior to Russ's arrival, I thought Justin Fields did make some sense because of the athleticism. Mm-hmm. But there's no denying that Justin Fields was up and down those first 6 games, and the down part was just throwing the ball down the field. And Russ gives you that. Now, he had the fumble in that Giants game. Right. That certainly was an issue. But his ability to throw the ball down the field is what he's always been good at. And I think it's not necessarily an indictment against Sean Payton, but it was clear that those guys weren't going to work well together. Sean Payton came in, obviously, after Russ was there in Denver, right, and they were oil and water from day one. The other thing I think is incredibly important, and you guys know this as watching the Panthers closely, it matters who's dialing up plays. Personnel is important, but Arthur Smith wasn't necessarily a popular hire among Steelers fans. Right. But he runs the ball. Najee Harris is playing some of his best football, and he throws play-action deep balls to George Pickens. It's not complicated, but he's doing it, and they're executing, and the defense is helping him out. They're not a Super Bowl team, but this team is better than people thought, which is typically what we say about a Mike Tomlin team in the post-Big Ben era. All right, let's get to the Jets. Funny, isn't Aaron Rodgers the real problem? Yes. Yeah, I mean, or you can say it as loudly as you want. But when you fire everybody and your team still stinks and you're the only person left in the room, like the Will Smith meme, I mean, who are you going to fire? The other thing is this, Adam, and I'm curious what you think about this. So even when they traded for Devonta Smith, and we talked about this on the podcast, I was not convinced that next year, September 15th or whenever the start of the season is, either Aaron Rodgers or Devontae Adams will be on that team. So basically you've blown draft picks. The team is worse than it was 2 weeks ago, and you have to blow up everything over the summer to try to fix this mess. Oh, yeah, the Jets are going to be – well, see, the thing is they've got some good personnel, right? I think they're building an offensive line, whether it's the kid they got from Penn State at tackle or Elijah Vera-Tucker if he stays healthy. I think they have some pieces there. They still have Garrett Wilson, who I'm going to guess that once Aaron Rodgers is out of town – will go back to being a much better player. I don't know why he's bad with Rodgers, but he has seemingly become bad. They've got good pieces at running back, whether it's Hall or Allen. They've got some ability, but I think their quarterback right now and the whole, I guess, vibe is kind of holding them back. But they are going to take an enormous step back. I do think their defense has not been as good as they hoped. Right. And it was never going to be as good as it was a year ago or 2 years ago. But it is interesting this year. Last year at this time, the Jets were, 4-4? With Zach Wilson. With Zach Wilson at quarterback, who is now the third-string quarterback in Denver. You brought up, before I let you go, Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com, you brought up Anthony Richardson. Is this a punishment? Legitimately a punishment benching? Because if it is, I don't really understand that. But I don't know. Is that what this is? I don't think so. I think Shane Steichen is above board in terms of what he's trying to accomplish. It's been a weird, sort of tenuous route to get to where we are in terms of Anthony Richardson finding his way to the bench for Joe Flacco. And he played 13 games in college. We knew what we were getting. He has not been as good as perhaps they want him to be in terms of progressing from year one to this year. He was hurt last year for much of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if benching solves anything. And he's a great kid. He's from a small town. He's not looking to push his brand or whatever we're talking about with kids at times. And I just think he hasn't played well. I don't think tapping out because he was tired. Everyone to a person says just lie. Don't say you're tired. But tapping out, I don't think it has anything to do with it. The other thing is this: if you're benching him now, you don't know what you have. You're not going to the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco anyway. So that to me seems like almost waving the white flag. Not quite as obvious as it was with Bryce Young, but it's a setback for a young quarterback who probably needs to play more.
All right, I lied. One final question. There have been 3 high-profile wide receivers moved. I'm not counting Deontay Johnson in this, but which team did the best for them that will make the biggest impact?
I mean, this guy is probably the furthest down, the closest to retirement, I should say. That's D-Hop going to Kansas City because he doesn't have to be the dude there. He can just play in the middle of the field next to Travis Kelce and catch balls on 3rd and 5 that go for 6 or 7 yards and keep moving the sticks. And then you open things up for Xavier Worthy, who can just run, for go routes all day long. I think that's the biggest impact to an offense that sort of sputtered, but they sort of sputtered to being undefeated. So I like D-Hop going to KC.
There is no team that does undefeated better than
Right.
I mean, they look awful, and you go, well, they haven't lost yet, and they've also. It's not like they've beaten nobodies. They've had a very difficult schedule, and they just keep winning. That's what happens when you've got Patrick Mahomes and the best coach in the league right now in Andy Reid. Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com with the First Pick podcast. You pull off Rick Spielman very well, sir. Happy Halloween to you. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Adam.
Take care. Ryan Wilson here on the Adam Gold Show. If you are especially if you are into the draft and, the guys that are the next wave, it's a great podcast to check out. I love Ryan. So it's good. It is also good to know that I'm not crazy. Travis Hunter is one of those players, and I think he is better. There's 1,000 wide receivers. I'm not saying that you don't need a Justin Jefferson or a CeeDee Lamb. Those guys are great to have. But you don't need one of those. In fact, the Kansas City Chiefs have won 3 of the last, 5 Super Bowls? Without one of those.
Right.
So what you need are good wide receivers. But you need elite players on the outside. At corner, you need edge rushers. That to me has more value than a wide receiver. And wide receivers have longer careers than running backs. So it's not about I wouldn't invest in a running back because they only last a certain amount of time. They're basically, you call them a disposable position, because I think they are. Wide receivers last longer. But, man, there's so many of them. Every year that we get like another 5, 6, 7 wide receivers that come out in the draft, and they all look awesome. I wouldn't pay them. I wouldn't. I'd just get them for 4 years, and I'd let somebody else pay them.
They're a dime a dozen.
There are just so many of them. And because of that, I would be way more inclined to, if I see somebody who is elite at cornerback, who can cover, and whatever else he can do after that is gravy. And because Hunter actually is an excellent receiver as well, an offensive weapon, it makes it even more attractive. There's nobody in this draft I would take over Travis Hunter. I'm not allowed to say, Victoria, so don't make me say it.
Right.
That I would vote for Travis Hunter for the Heisman Trophy.
Okay.
As a Heisman voter, I am not allowed to say that I will vote for Travis Hunter.
I will remind you to not do that.
So please, if you hear me say that, say, Adam, you're not supposed to say that.
Yes, exactly.
And then I'll be in compliance.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we will stretch. I think I went 0 for yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I went because I got my Stanton home run, and then I did pick the Dodgers to win, and they were just underdogs, which was crazy.
I had a Hughes did score a goal, but not the two Hughes, not either of the Hughes I picked. So Jack Hughes, who was the favorite, one of the favorites to score a goal, but Quinn and Luke did not. All right, we'll stretch and place bets next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Oh, the NBA is back, and FanDuel is America's #1 sports book for a reason, because they want you to catch all the action. And right now, FanDuel giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you got to do to catch every tip-off, every buzzer beater, every dunk is place any $5 wager on the NBA and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel and me. FanDuel.com/AGS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we are diving into a topic that is important to so many of us, the health insurance open enrollment period. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, we speak with Megan Brohl, a consultant with the Marsh McLennan Agency, an NCHA partner providing business employee health and benefits, and a graduate of Coastal Carolina University. She explains some of the things to consider when opting in for insurance coverage.
Really looking at the information, comparing the plans, not just the premiums, but what's the coverage, and making that best decision for you, your family, what's going to be best in the future if you have things that are coming up, and really considering all factors when you're looking at your coverage.
You can learn more and join our latest conversation on the state of healthcare wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November? From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
I am Bruno Hinojosa and I live in Asheville. I work in construction and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. I went to their website, applied, and got covered. Doctor visits, yearly checkups, and even emergency care if I need it. Being a business owner can be stressful at times, but knowing that I got covered, it just takes weight off my shoulders. And I can get the care that I need when I need it at low or no cost. And it's one less thing I need to worry about now.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
Psst. Hello there. It's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we've got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this, trust me. Just visit CFNC.org to help us stay on time.
This is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Do we have results of the Halloween costume contest yet?
I don't think so. We usually get an email that says it, but I have no idea.
Okay.
Video Joe, he's in the studio. He's Spirit Halloween this
I liked
year.
it. He was definitely one of my finalist considerations.
Okay.
Just for the creativity of it.
Yeah.
Which really meant that all he really had to do was put on a hat.
Right. Right. And a shirt that says Spirit
Well,
Halloween.
yes.
But,
it's
it's
a dead
okay.
giveaway.
It's something. Hey, it's something. So he didn't have a costume
Oh,
change
wait.
like me.
I detected a little costume shade being thrown there.
Oh, no, he participated. I like participation.
Okay.
It's
All right.
it's fine. No judgment here.
What is your secondary? What's your backup costume?
This is the same one, just more comfortable. This is still pumpkin
Oh,
spice.
it's still pumpkin spice.
But yes, because the other one, there was like the furry jacket. I had some hippie glasses.
Yeah.
You know,
I
that
liked
whole
it.
thing.
I liked it. Also, seriously considered.
I know, but
I'm not allowed to tell
we're
you
not
who I
allowed
voted
to
for.
tell people.
Just
so.
that I voted. Go vote, people. Not for our Halloween costume contest.
Right.
But by Tuesday.
Well, you could.
Go.
Yeah.
Actually, I think if you vote early, I think Saturday is the last day for that.
Oh, okay.
Other than if you miss Saturday, and you got to go, brave the polls on Election Day, Tuesday.
Yeah.
But cast your ballot.
Yeah.
Ready to stretch?
Okay, well, this one's all going to be about Halloween, because why not? It's Halloween, in case people didn't know that today. So they say, recommending 4 safety tips for tonight. Walk defensively. I would also add drive defensively, but that should be an everyday thing because
Walk
people.
defensively?
Yes. They say they want you to assume that drivers are staring at their phone. So just be on the defense.
So like when you're on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're not walking in the middle of the street, are we?
Well, maybe. There are people
Yeah,
who
it's
will
true.
do that. So, yes, that's probably where these are directed to,
okay.
is for
That makes
those
sense.
individuals. Also, for drivers, drive more carefully than you normally would because there might be little children that are
Maybe.
loose trying to get their little Snickers or whatever. So, be careful as you are driving, obviously.
Right.
Also, be careful of costumes. Now, they say putting like reflective tape and glow sticks is always a good idea, just in case, because, now it's going to get dark early or darker earlier. But yes, so be aware if you're wearing all black that, no one can see you. So you're a hazard.
Yes.
And then also another hazard. A choking hazard. Maybe you should wait to eat that candy because walking and eating, I guess, they think people are likely to choke on candy.
Yeah, but you tell your kids, right?
Yeah.
Don't eat any candy until we have a chance to inspect it.
Right.
Because you never know if there's,
AKA parents stealing the good candy out of the bag. Because I know what that meant.
Exactly
As a kid,
what
you're
that
like,
meant.
oh, Mom and Dad's got to look over the candy.
I thought I had more Milky Ways than this, Mom.
Yeah. Nope. Sorry, they fell out of the bag.
There was just one.
Must have been a hole.
It was just one.
Also, different Halloween highlights and stats. So the average person apparently has been prepping for Halloween in their costumes over 5 weeks ago. I feel targeted. Aileen and I are targeted in this because my decorations were staring at me at least 5 weeks ago.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, they're saying most people in their 20s and 30s already had their Halloween costume planned. Yeah, to each their own, especially if you're going to a party. I haven't done that in a long time. Also, according to the National Retail Federation, they say we spend over $11 billion on Halloween this year.
Really?
Yes. Which is
wow.
I know, it's crazy, which is about $104 per person. This is including costumes, decoration, candy, and then greeting cards. Is there
What?
such a thing?
Greeting cards?
I had no idea this was a thing.
This was clearly produced by Hallmark.
Exactly. So just to highlight the fact that this is even a thing. But with that, 72% of Americans are celebrating Halloween, so that's where they're getting all their money. And top costumes that you might see if you're trick-or-treating today. The little kiddos, they like Spider-Man, Ghost, Princesses, Witch. I feel like that's all normal. And then adults, Witch, Vampire, Cat, Batman. But then,
Right.
if it's the female version, I'm sure it'll look different. There's always a female version with some of these. So there's that to look forward to. And the average person supposedly bought their first bag of candy about 2.5 weeks ago. So that means it's gone.
Yes.
It's over. It's way, way gone.
When we had trick-or-treaters, like, no joke, today is when I would buy the candy.
That's a good idea, because otherwise it's not going to last.
And whatever's left. Like, oh, wait, there's only, Fifth Avenue bars left?
Exactly.
Guess they're giving out Fifth Avenue bars.
These whatchamacallits, like, okay.
Have you ever had the Reese's Outrageous?
No.
I had one yesterday for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh, what? Like, I got
delicious.
one. Yes, I split it with Jack on the way to his soccer practice.
And you immediately
and
regretted it.
He looked at me and went, "What is this?" We had never had it before. It's amazing.
I'm telling you, if you like caramel, whatever, however you want to say it, you should try the Reese's Cup with the caramel in it.
Really?
Life-changing. Let me just tell you.
I'm all about that.
Thank me later. Now, while we're speaking of all this candy, last but not least, dental surgeons are urging children not to eat the lollipops and sticky candies. Like, that's going to happen. Okay. And they're suggesting that the public switch to giving out treats like stickers and Play-Doh.
What?
I know. I cannot
Play-Doh?
make this up. They are suggesting things like that because they're trying to avoid cavities. People in the real world know that this is not going to happen. Kids are going to eat all kinds of candy, so they make suggestions. They're making suggestions that you should limit the candy when the kid sits down so they don't overindulge. Or like I said yesterday in the 7th inning stretch, eat sauerkraut afterward because apparently that helps your gut.
How about sauerkraut candy?
I know. That's what we should come up
Sour
with.
Patch flavored sauerkraut.
Patch, yes. Oh, man. And the kid could be named Crowder or something. I don't know. Also, brush your teeth after you eat it. It's all the basic stuff. Don't overeat it, whatever. Kids are going to eat their stuff tonight, but, just brush your teeth afterward. Or brush your teeth after we place our bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
I did go 0 for 3, actually 0 for 4 since I made 2 anytime goal scorer wagers on the Devils and Canucks.
Yeah.
So but I've given you so many winners lately. It's okay.
I know.
It's all right.
Well, it's okay.
We'll get back
Stanton
at it.
and the Dodgers came through with me, so we'll try football tonight. See if that works out. So the Texans and the Jets are going to be in New York, and you know what? I know they're underdogs, but give me the Texans tonight. They're plus 115 just outright. So
They are. Mm-hmm. They are. Jets, unfortunately, are going to win this game. Against everybody's wishes, they're going to win this game.
Right.
And Jets and over 42.5, because if the Jets do win, it'll be because the offense kicked in.
Oh, okay.
So Jets over 42.5 plus 215.
Okay, well, I do like the high scoring, and I'm hoping that Tank Dell is going to step in since Diggs is out for C.J. Stroud, and he's also on my fantasy league. So anytime touchdown score, Tank Dell plus 200.
All right, let's go to Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins tonight.
Yes.
Seth Jarvis, anytime goal scorer plus 230.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was going to be mine, too. I'll change it up.
Seth?
I was going to do a Jarvie night because I just feel like Halloween, it's in the air. But you know what? It is Jarvalicious. But we'll go with Martine Natchez. Why not? Anytime goal scorer, plus 230.
Same thing, yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
They were identical. Sebastian Aho actually has 12 goals in 21 games. 21? No, 19 games against Boston in his career. So that's it, but it's plus 145. Value's not great. All right, 2 NBA upsets tonight. Memphis beats Milwaukee at home, and the Clippers beat the Suns also at home. Let's parlay those together and go bananas at plus 668. And there you go. All right, in the Wall of Sound, Dave Canales, Bryce Young, World Series stuff next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Beautiful passing by the Carolina Hurricanes, and Burns to Roslovic, and it's 3-1 here in Vancouver.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Back to Slavin, he shot right on, rebounds out in front, chance up front, they score! Here come the Hats!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Adam Gold here from my friend Dr. Lori Travers at Travers LASIK, and twice in the last week, people have asked me about my experience at Travers LASIK, and I have said, well, if you want 20/20 vision and you want to get rid of glasses and contacts, I think it's a great idea. 919-510-6830, TraversLASIK.com. 2-year, zero-interest financing is available, about 5 minutes per eye, totally painless. 919-510-6830. Travers LASIK, see what you've been missing.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton, and people often ask me, what is the Good Feet store? A shoe store? I respond, we are an arch support store. Haven't you spent enough time trying different shoes and all the disposable products that are supposed to make your feet feel better? Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Just with it, Svechnikov shoots, he scores! The power play continues to be smoking on the road, and the Hurricanes take a 1-0 lead. Blake taking a look, holding on, he'll score! What a pass! Jackson Blake to Jack Drury. Back-to-back Jacks, 2-0 Carolina. Right now Jarvis in on a break, and he scores! Oh my goodness! Undresses Decord. Cheddar on the backhand, 3-1 Carolina.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's The Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Coming up in, about 20 minutes, we'll talk to the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brind'Amour, in advance of tonight's game against the Boston Bruins. I will give you definitively the only 5 candies that you should have to give to children. The only 5.
Only 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I could just narrow it to 3.
Oh, wow.
But because there are only there are too many variations
right
of candies. Like, how many different types of Reese's are there now?
A ton.
Even ones with like chopped up potato chips in it.
Yeah, I haven't tried that.
I'm not even arguing.
No.
Because there was a time where we would put potato chips on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it doesn't suck.
No.
Yeah, you can go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
How many different flavors of M&Ms are there?
Oh, way too many to even know.
Way too many.
Yeah. Well.
I get the peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
I get the caramel.
Big peanut butter fan.
I get the cookies and cream.
Oh, I have not had that.
By the way, have you had cookies and cream Oreos? Think about that for 1 second. Just 1 second, think about that.
Isn't an Oreo already cookies and cream?
It's a chocolate-flavored Hershey bar.
Wow. Okay. I have had the golden Oreos. Those are delicious. Those are good.
I have so many things running through my head now. I can't. I just can't. All right, let's do the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
We'll start with the World Series last night. The Dodgers were crowned champions. Freddie Freeman was the MVP. He didn't homer last night, the only game in which he did not hit a home run. He had 4 of those, but he did drive in 2 runs with a single. And after really not contributing in the series against the Mets that got them into the World Series, he absolutely caught fire.
You don't really think about it when you're up there. Things seem to be slowing down. That's kind of what you're just trying to do. And I think obviously experience definitely helps in this situation. But when I did a lot of work in between the NLCS and the World Series. And thankfully my ankle got into a good spot where I could work on my swing, and I found a cue that really worked for me. And I was able to slow things down. I mean, all you're trying to do is swing at strikes, take balls, and hit the mistakes. And thankfully, I was able to do that for 5 games.
Yeah, my gosh. He was locked in for 5 games. Tremendous series. Absolutely deserving of the MVP of the series. But, man, the Dodgers had a lot of guys who really did play well. Kike Hernandez was good. Tommy Edman, the shortstop, was amazing. Amazing in this series. He was the NLCS MVP when the Dodgers beat the Mets in 6. Just incredible stuff. Of course, the Yankees utterly capitulated in the 5th inning. I'll go through that in a minute. It's when you get to this part of the season and every pitch matters. The Yankees, who is it? Was it Luke Weaver? Their late inning guy who looks like he's
16.
8 years old.
Uh-huh, that one.
But apparently he's been a pro for like 12 years.
Right.
So there's a new rule in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
That actually was instituted, I think it was last season?
Mm-hmm.
Where you can only throw over to first base twice.
Yep, and he did it 3 times.
And the third time, you must get the guy out. This is another example of the Yankees just kind of falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
So he nearly picked the guy off twice.
Yeah.
They were both close plays. And then he just soft tossed back to first. I'm like, dude.
Right.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
So it's because they were lost.
Mm-hmm.
They literally fell apart, the Yankees last night.
I think it got in his head because wasn't that the guy who came in for Hernandez to try to steal bases?
Taylor, yes.
So I'm sure yeah.
Yeah, he came in to
got in his kitchen.
Teoscar Hernandez, and man, it was just indicative of the Yankees from the 5th inning on. Even though they had retaken the lead, they were just mentally done. So many mistakes. Because the Garrett Cole not covering first base on the ground ball to first.
No excuse for that, buddy.
But that is a mental mistake.
It is.
That's when you're not completely locked in. There are other things that have taken over, and you allow Trip Tracy likes to say, grab the moment, don't let the moment grab you. The moment grabbed the Yankees last night. That's really what happened. All right, Juan Soto, who is a tremendous player if you weren't aware, and I'm sure most of you are aware that Juan Soto is one of, the 4 or 5 best players in the sport. Has been with the Yankees now, I think, for 2 years after coming over from the Padres. He is a free agent after this season. Now. So he can sign with whoever he wants to sign with. He was asked if this will be his last game in Yankee pinstripes.
You never know, man. At the end of the day, we will see where we are at. Definitely tough game to be my last one, but really happy with what we accomplished as a team and how far we got. Definitely, we want to get to we wanted to be the last team standing, but things happen.
I give it 40% he's a Yankee. I say they're the favorites, but I think that there is probably a better chance that he's somewhere else than he is with the Yankees. But I think the Yankees are the most likely destination, if you can understand what I mean by that. Like, I think the Yankees are about a 40% chance. I think the Mets are about a 30% chance. I wouldn't rule out teams like the Giants, who have shown the willingness to spend money. I don't think he'll go back to San Diego, but there's a lot of teams that can afford Juan Soto because he is that good. Legit, he is that good. I don't think he'll sign with Tampa. I don't.
No, I don't think so.
All right, Aaron Judge, how was your World Series experience, sir?
Getting a chance to see Yankee Stadium rocking and rolling like that the past couple nights was pretty special. Just seeing the city come alive, getting a chance to compete with these guys that you battle through so much BS throughout the season, the ups and downs, losing streaks, winning streaks, tough calls that don't go your way. All for it to come to these final games like this. It was definitely a treat to get out there and compete with this group, but we got a special group in here. A lot of these young guys that getting their taste of postseason baseball for the first time and the success they had. Some big homers from Wellesley and good at bats. What Volpe did. All postseason long. Clark Schmidt coming up and have some great pitching performances for us. We got something special here, and I know this is only going to fuel a lot of guys, fuel me especially. So I want to be on the other side of it. That's for sure.
So there's no question that Aaron Judge is one of the best players in the game. I mean, just look, the numbers scream it. His postseason performance, not good. He was 1 out of 12 with an RBI through the first 4 games of the series. He had a 2-run home run early that put the Yankees in front 2-0. So he's hit the ball better of late. He didn't have one of those games. Aaron Judge needed to stamp himself. I mean, he had an opportunity late on to get the job done and didn't. Ultimately, going forward, I think he'll be better for it. But the more alarming thing to me is that Aaron Judge, who plays center field for a reason, he's actually a pretty good center fielder. I mean, I'm not making him out to be the greatest center fielders we've ever seen defensively. He's not Andrew Jones. But he drops the fly ball in the 5th, and then kind of low-key, not really sure why he didn't catch Teoscar Hernandez 2-run double that tied the game. You know, when you look at it again, you go, he might have been able to catch that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It kind of fell sort of close to him.
Yeah.
Like, to me, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to judge a fly ball when you're on the run like that, especially if the moment is grabbing you.
Right.
And that whole inning grabbed the Yankees by the throat and didn't let go.
Not at all.
So that's, to me, that was a ball he probably should have caught. He made a great catch earlier in the game, too. He robbed Freddie Freeman of extra bases earlier in the game.
Yeah, he almost took out the wall, so.
Well, I mean, that is entirely possible.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some Dave Canales and Bryce Young stuff, and then we will wrap up Wall of Sound. Wow. I said this earlier. I have had a lot of critical things to say about Dave Canales. I've had critical things to say about Bryce, mostly about him not. He just doesn't project anything good.
No.
Like, he's not negative.
No, just insecurities.
Very much. He expresses no confidence.
No.
It's all of it is frustrating. But Dave Canales as well. What are you encouraged by? How can you possibly be encouraged by what Bryce Young, even did last week?
Yeah, on Sunday, just some of the rhythmic throws, first drive, just kind of finding a good mix and balance of it. For me, again, this is an opportunity to compete, to continue to find the things that he's confident with. He found some nice completions, throughout here and there, and then finished with the really nice drive that I thought was, obviously the game was out of hand, but at the same time, we were competing, to find wins in those moments. And, I just thought that was, good stuff. And then, to have the continuity of one week to the next, getting in and out of the huddle, and to feel that rhythm, that it takes to be successful. So I'm excited for him to get out there and have another opportunity.
I want Dave to stop. I just want him to stop.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Gosh.
I don't know how he comes up with that.
He had completions here and there. I know. I just wanted to stop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You and all of us Panther fans.
I'm sorry.
And basically everyone.
All right, let's hear from Bryce Young. You watched the tape, Bryce. What do you think?
I thought it was a good plan. Again, things to clean up, stuff to execute better, but some things that again I think to build off of. So just wanted to look at it objectively. For me out there, it was just it was great being out there. It was obviously fun just being in that role again. So really just tried to separate the emotion from it, and then see what was good we can build off of, and see what I can learn from.
I got two things. One. Use the emotion. Use the emotion. The adrenaline will not hurt you. Secondly, and this is a follow-up. Look, I know we talk to these people and we sometimes don't even listen to the answers. And I'm as guilty of this as anybody. What did you do that you would like to build off of? Give me an example of something that you did that you were really happy with. Because I think there are examples in the game. The throw to Jalen Coker, I think it was down the right side when he was just about to get drilled. First time in a long time we've seen Bryce deliver a ball under duress accurately.
Yes, it looked nice.
Like that to me is a play that we run that on a loop. We run that over and over and over again in film study. You, number 9, you threw that ball. You didn't see it after you threw it because you got drilled, but you made that play. That's what we need to see more of. You can do that. The other thing is that I would like to see Bryce just express, even if you have to fake it. Said this about Baker Mayfield. Even when he stunk, and he stunk some for the Panthers, but he stunk for the Browns in year 3. Of course, I think he had an injury at the end of the season, but he played through it. Baker Mayfield always looks at himself as not just the starting quarterback, but the man. He is super confident at all times. And while he's good, he's not great.
No. He throws a lot of interceptions,
he does.
but he at least appears that he washes it off and keeps it moving.
He is super confident in him.
Yes.
And he expresses that. He exudes that. That's what we need from Bryce. All right. Let's find out from Bryce Johnson what his thoughts are on the Deontay Johnson trade.
You know, someone like Deontay, obviously a great player, but a great dude, great person. Came in and worked. You know, when he was on the field, he was giving his all. You know, I have a ton of respect for him. Coming into a new environment, you know, I've had a lot of conversations with him on and off the field, and just the drive he has, the willingness to compete, the competitor he is, someone who always wants to be at his best. Again, throughout training camp or game, he was always again giving his all, being competitive. So, you know, I have nothing but love for Deontay. Obviously, it's part of the business, and it sucks he's not going to be here. You know, so that's going to be rough, but I wish him nothing but the best move forward.
I mean, I wish him well in Baltimore.
Okay. The one thing I almost didn't even hear what he was saying because all I could hear was the ping pong in the background. What do we do?
Play
What?
ping pong.
You don't see
It's
a
Wednesday.
problem?
No, it's Wednesday.
Like, Panthers, what are we doing?
No, it's in the locker room. I think it's cool, actually.
No, I like I feel like you should earn, though, ping pong time.
Oh,
like,
really?
You should.
You're one of those fans.
How about you go out and be successful, and then you play ping pong and get the pizza party
Ping
and
pong
have
is a
all
learned
the...
is a learned experience. It's a treat.
Apparently, yeah. Oh my gosh!
Okay, I get it. So
I can't.
I cover the Carolina Hurricanes pretty closely.
Right, and they play hacky sack before the game.
They do. They play soccer in the they basically juggle a soccer ball as a group as a warm up. It's actually very good.
Yeah.
But I spend a fair amount of time, I certainly did during training camp, in the locker room talking to guys, and they have a ping pong table
right
in the locker room, and Jacob Slavin is always playing.
Right.
I'm going to guess he's good.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
He pretends that he's not, but I'm going to guess that Jacob Slavin is good. The next time we have Jacob Slavin on, and I promise we will have him on.
Yeah.
I have a good time. I think Jacob's has come out of his shell a lot. He's a lot more showing his personality. I think he's a fun guy. But we will ask him who's the best ping pong player. I think the answer might be Marty Necas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Necas has become kind of like their Justin Williams. He's kind of good at everything.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to say Svetch almost, but I don't know.
I don't think
that was
Svetch is
just a
good
guess.
at ping pong.
Yeah. It's
I
just a
don't.
guess. We got to see who's good at this.
I think Necas is very good at ping pong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they play ping pong all the time.
And that's fine. They deserve it.
They have earned
They've earned the rights for ping
privileges.
pong. Yes.
That's so good. All right, when we come back, I talked to Rod Brind'Amour earlier today about the game against Boston and what he saw on the road trip. We'll get to that and then 5 and only 5 acceptable Halloween candies. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk, Panthers Playbook, the paw print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Bryce fits it into Leggett for a touchdown, and Xavier Leggett does the dollar bill dance, and the Panthers quiet this crowd at Mile High.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Happy Halloween, so why not make some scary predictions? I'm Victoria Votenecker here for BetMGM, and tonight might cause some frightening outcomes for the Jets if they aren't able to grab a win against the Texans, but it might also be a good opportunity to bet on some players who haven't been in the spotlight because of recent injuries. Will Aaron Rodgers show up big with a high number of passing yards, or maybe CJ Stroud might run a touchdown in? The World Series wrapped up last night, but there's also still plenty of hockey to make predictions on, like our Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Boston Bruins tonight at home. You can bet on all of those things and so much more when you use the BetMGM app, because you'll see options like betting the money line, prop bets, live bets, same game parlays, and BetMGM also throws out fun daily promotions for day of games. All brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Download the app today and please gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt, and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Express Equity line of credit can get you up to $500,000 so you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity line of credit, you can access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote, and there's no credit pull, unlike those other guys. Call now, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
All I wanna know is, can I get a hot and spicy patty to make nuggets so crisp, and the fries go to yellow, yeah, McDonald's don't miss, yeah. Order on the app or the drive-through quick, yeah. $5, that's some deal, yeah. I got McDonald's money.
At participating McDonald's.
This is Adam Gold.
What, a minute 53 into the game? Heat of the moment?
Right.
What kind of heat of the moment is that? We haven't even gotten to simmer yet.
I know. Did someone flip him off in the parking lot? Like, what are we
seriously.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's here. Happy Halloween, everybody. 5 definitive Halloween candies in a moment. Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins tonight, first of 3 meetings between the two. Last year, the Hurricanes took 2 out of 3 from the Bruins. 2 games in Boston, both won by Carolina. 1 game here, won by Boston. I don't know that says anything. Last year's performance doesn't mean this year's performance will be the same, but the Hurricanes did take 2 or 3 from Boston. Just the home team never won. Boston's has 1 win in their last 5 games. They are 1-3-1 in their last 5. Carolina has obviously played very well. They have won 4 in a row. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. They are 6-2 on the season. So theoretically, the Hurricanes have the edge tonight, but the Canes in Boston, it will always be interesting. The road trip was very good. 6 games away, and I talked to Rod Brind'Amour about just how well the Hurricanes played. About 365 minutes on the road. Would you say about 300 of it is exactly the way you want it?
It was good. All of it was good. I mean, you're not going to be able to dominate games. Everyone kind of other team tries to talk about that. I'm like, but we started on time, which was good. Had really good first periods, and then even when things didn't go our way, we managed to kind of right the ship. So overall, obviously, you look at the wins and the record was good, but I thought just the overall play, had we not even won another 1 or 2, the way I want to play it, the way we want to see it.
I think you could tell, though, at the end of the last game, they were kind of on fumes in the third period.
Yeah, mentally it was tough. That's the hard part. It's not really physically. I mean, yeah, we were tired, but it's just the grind of in the hotels and the travel. And it's a lot when you're there on the road that long. And then having a 2-goal lead is probably worse because then everyone just goes, okay, and then all of a sudden you can't get it back. Once the momentum goes the other way, it's hard. But I thought we had a decent period. It just we had a couple of gaffes that cost us.
Yeah, about that, and Piotr played, I mean, it was like an EKG machine. Yeah. He was all over the place. Yeah. And the 3 goals, he probably will replay all 3 of those in his mind. And it's an opportunity for him now with Freddie out.
Yeah, well, that position has got to be solid. You have no chance if it isn't. Right. So no matter how good your team is. And so, I thought he made some real good saves in that game. And then you're right, we're trying to eliminate, if you look through his history, there's been a goal every night. You're like, what that can't go in. So we got to figure out how to knock those out, and then he'll be fine. But it's all from him. I love it because it's all from, he's trying to. That's the way he plays. He's a competitive, aggressive goalie, and you don't want to take that out of him either.
Can you tell me what you were thinking when he was coming out?
Well,
what ultimately was the third goal?
To me, there's a lot. I mean, you don't really, everything happens quick in our sport, and I thought he actually hesitated a tad. If you're going to make that decision, it has to happen.
Right.
And then he would have got to probably puck and be able to shoot it out. And then he was lucky that he even got a piece of it the first time, and then he actually, in his second effort trying to get back, is what messed it up because he deflected it over Jarvis' stick. Jarvis had it. The guy shot it back in front. Jarvis was just going to grab it, but he dove back and tipped it over. Like it was just a train wreck of a play. But then he made a huge save later on I think it was DeBrusk coming in with like a minute and a half to go or something. So, that's the key. It's okay, now you messed up, but you got another one coming here. You got and he answered the bell.
Real quick about Natchez, and I know because I've talked to you about it before. There's nothing really noticeably different about his game, but when a player like him is confident, what is different about it?
Yeah, well, I think you just see he wants the puck, and he's skating really well. He always does, but. You notice that it's standing out, and he's a threat, right? Like when he gets the puck, he's noticeably a threat. There's certainly a lot less of the stuff that you don't like in his game. Right. Maybe that's the change where, maybe he's not as, when he knows when there's nothing there, you live to fight another day. There's some of that, which that's what we really, wanted to get out of his game. And I think he's had a little more direct approach, but end of the day, we got to let him be what he is.
All right, Boston's coming in a little bit of a limping team. They have not played well. They have not scored a lot of goals. They don't look like they're as deep a team, but they've got some good young players that people don't know about. What is your fear about them?
Well, it's they still have the same couple guys that you're always aware of. But what I think is what's driving them right now is their so-called younger guys or bigger. They got a big group. I mean, this is the biggest team that we've faced by a mile. And those are the guys, if you look down their roster, so they got a couple of those guys are plus 10 and plus 8, and scoring on the bottom. And that's what's really, got them going. When those top guys are going to get going at some point. Right now, it's the third and fourth line, so to speak, guys that have really driven their game and have a huge back end too. Their blue line's big, so they're playing a big, heavy game. I don't think it's really changed much. I think what they're looking for is their top guys to start really putting up. I hope it doesn't happen tonight, but it's going to happen because you know how good of players they are.
There you go. Rod Brind'Amour in advance of tonight's game against Boston. Complete mistake on my part. A Yankees fifth inning disaster on my part to not ask Rod about Halloween candies. I mean, that's my fault.
That's okay. You were distracted with a hockey thing, so it's
right.
fine.
I was there in a professional way. When I talk, I don't think we're going to air it now, but it'll air in the pregame show. Jordan Martinook, first thing I asked him was, what's his costume? Because they do a team Halloween party, which they have not yet held, and all the guys come dressed up. And he goes, I can't tell you because there are people in this room that can't know. And I said, how long did it take you to pick it out? He goes, I literally spent no time on it. I was told what to wear.
Oh, well, there you go.
So clearly, Mrs. Martinook has taken care of it.
Absolutely.
And then we talked about, the kids. He's got 2 kids, got a girl and a boy. What are they going to be? And while I'm giving it away, if you listen to the Storm Watch, you'll hear it. His daughter, very young, is like multiple princesses.
Okay.
And his son, Chase, is Captain America, which he said, interesting, because we're Canadian. I'm like, but wait, he was born here.
Right. There he is, so that's his pass.
It is appropriate. It is very appropriate. All right, I just posted this, and for no reason at all, just so it's out there. You only need 5 Halloween candies. I'm not saying that there are other Halloween candies that are not, or other candies that are not good. Like, I got no problem. We have music. Very nice.
Yeah, Halloween music.
I'm not saying that I love gummy bears or gummy worms, right? I love those.
Oh, yeah.
Those are fun.
The sour ones are really good.
The Sour Patch Kids are addictive, right? I'm not saying those are not good, but I don't want them at Halloween because those types of candies ruin the other candies.
Okay.
All right? So in this particular order, number 5, M&M's, regular. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. First of all, I don't even like the peanut M&M's.
Yeah, I don't like the peanut, but I love the peanut butter. Ooh.
Well, yes, I love peanut. What's not to love?
I know. They're delicious.
Right, they are. Reese's Pieces are great, too.
Oh,
but
big time.
I'm just going plain, regular M&M's, which I eat colors at a time.
Oh, yes, you should. Yes. In my brain, I use the brown last.
Well, I don't eat the brown or the yellow. I give those away.
Yeah.
I only eat the blue, orange, and red. Yeah. And green. Green, of course.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And be careful. Number 4, Twix. Left or right does not matter.
Delicious.
They're just awesome. 3, Kit Kat.
Okay, I will say, talking about flavors, all of these candies also have new variations as well.
Yeah, they all do. And unnecessary.
But you're talking about the original.
Yes, unnecessary. But I'm not anti them, but you could go, if I really wanted to, I could just do Reese's. 5 different variations of Reese's. Big cup.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Which I don't do the bits.
Man.
Big cup.
I love the. No, there's never too much.
Yeah.
The eggs, the trees, the footballs, they're the best.
Yeah, the trees are good. Number 2, Hershey's Special Dark.
Ooh, I do like
the miniatures.
That one.
I don't even eat the others. Crackle. What do you have? Like rocks inside of them? What is that?
Potentially
sand. Get
Rice
that out of here.
Krispies.
I don't want that. You've got the Mr. Good bar. Yeah, I don't really need nuts in it. And the Hershey's regular chocolate is fine. Dark chocolate.
It's delicious.
Hershey's Special Dark.
Because it also doesn't taste like real dark chocolate, so that helps. Because I can't do real chocolate.
Really?
The real stuff.
Give me 70% cacao.
Woo! Way too much cacao.
I
for me.
like the fact that they tell you what percentage it is now.
I know.
I'm a
it's
big
like a
fan
badge
of
of honor.
Yeah, it's almost like baking chocolate at this point.
It is.
But I am here for dark chocolate. But by the way, you can use it as an excuse. It's good for you.
Right. Antioxidants. Yes, exactly.
Very good.
That and
red wine and dark chocolate. Go nuts, people.
Right.
If all you ate were red wine, blueberries, and dark chocolate, you'd have the healthiest colon ever.
But minus the nuts, because you don't like that. You just like the regular chocolate.
Right, exactly. And number one, the old standby, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be,
If you only gave that out, your house would never get egged or toilet papered.
I would like to know if there's anyone on the planet who doesn't like Reese's Cups that isn't allergic to like peanuts or any kind of nut.
Dan Orlovsky of ESPN had a list of his most overrated
and that
Halloween
made
candies. It was number one.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Dan might be on a list.
Dan Orlovsky. Orlovsky talking about overrated.
Exactly. We don't need your opinion, Dan.
So there it is. It's all there on Twitter for perpetuity. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Lee Sterling's going to drop by in about 10 minutes. We'll get his picks for the weekend. Is there a fight?
There is actually a fight this weekend.
Are you guys battling or no?
I mean, I'm prepared. I always got to stay ready.
All right. Well, I don't know if that Lee is getting involved in that.
I don't know. I'll ask him. But we both won our bet from last weekend, so he shouldn't be scared. I still have one over him, though. That's true.
Victoria's in front. Lee Sterling will join us in a few minutes.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
My name's Kate Roper, and I live in Leicester, North Carolina. In September of 2023, I had a tumor removed from my left ear, and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. It was just such a relief knowing that now that I'm covered by NC Medicaid, I don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay for medical treatment now. It's probably saving my life.
See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we are diving into a topic that is important to so many of us, the health insurance open enrollment period. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, we speak with Megan Brohl, a consultant with the Marsh McLennan Agency, an NCHA partner providing business employee health and benefits, and a graduate of Coastal Carolina University. She explains some of the things to consider when opting in for insurance coverage.
Really looking at the information, comparing the plans, not just the premiums, but what's the coverage, and making that best decision for you, your family, what's going to be best in the future if you have things that are coming up, and really considering all factors when you're looking at your coverage.
You can learn more and join our latest conversation on the state of healthcare wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
Hello there, it's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we've got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this. Trust me. Just visit cfnc.org to help us stay on time.
The 2024 elections are just around the corner, and older voters are the nation's most active. The AARP North Carolina Voters Guide has information about upcoming election dates, registration deadlines, and voting options in North Carolina, such as voting by mail, early voting, or voting with a disability. Find the guide in the voters section at aarp.org/NC and listen each week to AARP Without Limits for important election news and much more. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? When your neighbor is out of town, why not pick up their newspaper and put it on their doorstep? How about asking if you can help when you see a person with a disability trying to get out of their car? Or simply smiling when you meet a stranger? It takes so little time, but it works wonders. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. What is this from?
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'm trying to think if I've seen it.
Oh, man. Add that to the list.
Did we play anything from Charlie Brown?
No, I have not played anything from Great Pumpkin.
The Great Pumpkin?
Mm-hmm. No, didn't think of that one.
Well.
But this to me...
I mean, it's just the Charlie Brown theme, I guess.
Right. However, this is a great debate. We should ask Mike Maniscalco, because, you know, the whole hot dog, is it a sandwich or not?
Right,
we should ask him
it's not even
if he
debate.
thinks that this is a Christmas or a Halloween movie, because that's the great debate with this one.
Oh, the
movie.
The Night Before Halloween?
The Nightmare Before
The Nightmare
Christmas.
Before Christmas.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I
Because it has
completely made
Christmas
up
in
a
the
movie.
title, but
Right.
it's a Halloween movie.
It's a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
It's perplexing. It is. It's not quite. Is it hot? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Right.
I mean,
know.
It is. So it is. You know what? It is what you want it to be.
Exactly.
That's maybe the best way. Do you have special plans for Halloween?
Well, since, you know, no trick-or-treaters ever come to the door, which
Right.
Biff is happy about.
Yep, dogs are very happy.
It's just going to be one of those chill, maybe watch something scary other than the football game that's on tonight.
Oh, that's going to be frightening.
I know.
Jets and Texans tonight.
I know. I do like to make bonfires because, you know, live out in the woods,
Right.
and that's legal where I live.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's always fun. But,
We
yeah,
light
that's
stuff
about
on
it.
fire from time to time.
Yeah, that's about it. So nothing about. What about you, though? I know the wife's got to have something planned.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, okay.
No. Too much stuff to do with horses and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
And then she'll pass out. I have a hockey game.
Yes, that's
Right?
right. That's right. There is the hockey game.
We have Canes and the Bruins tonight. Hurricanes generally don't play on Halloween. They don't want to play on Halloween because people have plans.
They're busy.
Right? And last year or 2 years ago, last year they did not play on Halloween. 2 years ago, they played on Halloween at home against the Capitals. That was the last time the game was not sold out. In the 22-23 season, that was the season of the outdoor game. The Hurricanes at home played to at least 18,000 fans, which is where they draw the line on a sellout. Every game except Halloween. They had about 16,400 in the building at Lenovo Center. Then it was called something else. But they had about 16,400 in the building for that game. The next time they faced the Capitals, they had just under 60,000 people because they played outside at Carter Finley Stadium, the outdoor game. So, but the only game they did not sell out that year was the Halloween game. That was the last time that the Hurricanes did not sell out. I believe it's 70 in a row, 70 sellouts either 70 or 71 in a row. I don't know if tonight's game is sold out. I have not asked, but I'm sure it's pretty close because it has been, for the most part, a rule. Boston's not playing all that well, but that doesn't mean that they're not good. I think they are. It's mostly their top guys who have not done much. Elias Lindholm has no points in 7 games. Charlie McAvoy, no points in 8 games. Brad Marchand just scored a goal. They won in overtime a few games ago. That was his first goal of the season. David Pastrnak has 6 goals, but only 8 points through 10 games. So the top guys have not necessarily done a ton, but they have good young players throughout their lineup. Guys you might not know, and hopefully you won't recognize tonight, but Boston is better than their record, and their record is not good. 4-5-1. Part of me thinks that maybe their bigger issue has been in goal. Jeremy Swayman hasn't been great. He has given up at least 3 goals, I believe, in 5 of 7 games. And Swayman didn't do that a whole lot at all last year. All right, Lee Sterling is joining us, Paramount Sports, at ParamountSports.com. All right, let's have a little fun. Let's see if people can't get ahead of the monthly obligations. I know you've got a lot of ACC games that you like. Let's start local. Yep. I had Duke straight up last week. How should I feel about that?
Like it ruins your night, it ruins your week, maybe your month. I mean, how do you get 6 takeaways, a 6-0 turnover advantage? I don't think I've ever seen that in college football and lose a game. All you do is kick a field goal and you let some guy jump over.
They couldn't do it. They missed one. They had one blocked. It was a complete disaster. Now they are playing against Miami down there. Yep. This seems like a bad recipe for the Blue Devils, but I think they're actually good, though.
Yep. I think so. Malik Murphy is much improved. Here's a guy that, first of the season, I think a combination, he hadn't, totally come into himself and felt comfortable in the system, didn't have someone believe in him, and, he is starting to, there is a connection now with his top 2 receivers, and even they've got a little bit of a running game. I think they're close to putting it together on offense. We know how good the defense is, and the blueprint is there, how to stop Miami. Make them move slowly down the field. Don't give up big plays.
Right.
Florida State's not real talented on defense. Good defensive line, but they made Miami move slowly down the field and held them to mid-30s. And I think that we're going to see the same type of thing here with Duke. Miami's prone to turn the ball over. Miami's turn to have some special teams lapses on coverage units. They play a lot of second-teamers there. And Manny Diaz, this is his Super Bowl. I think Miami wins the game 35-20. I think Duke covers.
Yeah, Duke, that's a lot of points to be giving a good football team, and I think Duke is good. NC State's rested. Stanford is basically playing for them, body clock at dawn with a noon game. Single-digit pick for NC State. What do you think?
Stanford's 7th straight week without a bye. This is a team that's getting beat up.
Yeah.
They just don't have depth at all. They lost 27-24 last week to Wake Forest, but the previous 4 by 24 or more points. They just don't have the bodies here. Don't get the explosive plays. Another long road trip. They got at Syracuse, Clemson, then back for Notre Dame previously. This is a real problem here. I like the fact North Carolina State's coming off a bye. Another team that should be healthy, and I think that they're going to control them up front here. NC State big. They double up Stanford 34-17.
All right. I also like the Wolfpack there. Just when you think their season is over, and I'm not saying that there's a lot of meat on the bone for the Tar Heels. They did play a great game at Virginia. They get the defensive touchdown, the deflection, interception, return for a touchdown from a defensive lineman. I am stunned and this is really more about Florida State, that Florida State is a home underdog to North Carolina. Hard to believe that is even possible. But I just don't know if the Tar Heels have it in them 2 weeks in a row.
I think they actually do, and here's why. Florida State doesn't get any short fields. So this is a team that's played 8 games. They're 1-7. They have a total of 3 takeaways. These kids, I saw them, and I was at the game last week. The fourth quarter, they just quit. They just didn't have it left them. They played hard for 3 quarters. Now they got to come home. There'll probably be 35,000 fans. The crowd might leave at halftime, another half of them. And 3 takeaways, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 interceptions all year. I think Kansas is going to have a big game here. North Carolina, they're on the right side. Mac Brown, you think this game doesn't mean something to him? He's 0-8 against Florida State. He finally gets his first win here, 31-17.
Hey, Duke beat Florida State for the first time in program history a couple of weeks ago. All right, very sneaky. One of the best games of the weekend is the ACC's got 4 teams left that are undefeated in conference play, and 2 of them will play, SMU and Pitt. Pitt has been, lucky is not the right word. I think opportunistic is probably the right word for them. SMU's coming off a shoulda lost. What happens?
So I think people are underestimating Pittsburgh a little bit. Eli Holstein's a good quarterback. You know, when you keep getting takeaways, sometimes it actually takes you out of a rhythm. I've been in that situation before, and you don't play your best, and people overlook you. This is a team, Pittsburgh, that gets takeaways at a high level here. They spread you out. What their offense is all about, Kerwin Bell's son is the offensive coordinator, try to get you in one-on-one situations. And SMU does not tackle real well in the open field. So they're going to get the ball out quick. SMU, they fare really well. Their defensive front get a lot of sacks when teams do 7-step dropbacks. They're not going to see that often here. I know SMU, you know, they're playing well. Their only loss was to BYU, who's 9th ranked, who's undefeated here, but still playing a backup quarterback in Jennings. And most of their better players are Miami kids, kids that came over from Miami that would be 2nd or 3rd string there. I think 7 is too much here. We're going to take the point. I think SMU escapes 30-27.
30-27. That'll be an entertaining football game. All right, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party that they don't want us to call it an outdoor cocktail party anymore. Georgia, Florida. This is probably, you talk about a Super Bowl. I mean, Billy Napier can't be much longer for that gig, right?
No, I think he's got to beat Georgia, or he's got to beat Texas. Find a way if he wants to keep his job. So how about this? I also love the game tonight. Never giving away a Thursday night game. I will give the first 5 callers that call now to 800-400-9741. I'll give them the Jets in Houston and the NFL and Georgia, Florida for free. 800-400-9741. And we call this month not November, call it Dovember. We've won each of the first 2 months. You want to hop on board? We've won 7 to 9 weeks. You can get 5 weeks, not for $597, just $397. One place, ParamountSports.com.
Dovember. I like Dovember. All right, Lee. Have a great week. I appreciate your time at Paramount Sports. Everything right there. Thanks, Lee.
You too. Take care.
Lee Sterling here on the Adam Gold Show. I've already given you what's going to happen tonight. It's Jets idiocy tonight. Going to figure out a way to keep everybody on the string. This is going to be Mike Greenberg's going to come in tomorrow and on Get Up, and he's going to be like one of those helium balloons, like at the top of the studio. We're back. You remember when they traded for Davante Adams, and he was losing it? The Jets are going to win 8 of their next 10. Blah blah blah, and hope is sometimes a terrible thing to have. Sometimes. I think the Jets will beat the Texans tonight. But if the Texans are legit good, and they're banged up, they're missing no Diggs and no Nico Collins is out.
Right, but they do have Mixon. I feel like, and I know I'm biased because he's on my fantasy league, but they need to use Tank Dell more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what they use, what they decide to do. And we'll also see if the Jets can not shoot themselves in the foot.
That's what the Jets do. They'll have a new kicker. Greg Zuerlein, their kicker, who really wasn't very good anyway, has been placed. I don't know if they placed him on IR, but he hurt.
He is on IR.
So the Jets will have a new kicker. I don't know who it is. I'm not sure that it matters because the Jets will Jets. But I actually think that they are going to figure out a way to win this game. The loss in New England was 100% about not being ready. It just that's the way it looked to me. It looked like a team that had completely forgotten what they were supposed to do. They literally were not ready to play. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of dysfunction going on there. The coaching change clearly has impacted negatively. It's funny. I've never been a huge Robert Saleh fan, but I also don't think that he was the problem. The problem is really the offensive coaching more than anything. And they didn't fix that. They didn't fix it. It's still the same problem. But with that said, they are not void of talent. So I think they'll figure out a way to win the game. Hurricanes tonight against the Boston Bruins. Canes are 6-2. They've won 6 of 7. Boston has 1 win in their last 5. We will see. First game after a road trip is always tricky. They have been off for 2 days, but the first home game after a long road trip is always tricky. Victoria, thank you very much. Happy Halloween to all. See you tomorrow.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and it is the beginning of Week 10 of the NFL. It could also be the beginning of the end of the New York Jets season as they take on Houston. Strangely enough, the Jets are favored by a little bit at home against the Texans. Who knows?